to start, oh yeah. Hey. About to start. Yeah. Come on and join the Feeling North Show. That's the girl you need to know. The Feeling North Show. That's the girl you need to know. Feeling North. Feeling North. Yeah.
Giving you celebrity gossip, what's going on in the news. She'll talk about beauty, interview your favorite celebs too. Get ready,
Get ready.
get ready,
Get ready.
get ready.
Come on and join the Feeling North Show. That's the girl you need to know. The Feeling North Show. That's the girl you need to know. Feeling North. Feeling North.
Well, hello, lovers. Hope everyone is doing well today. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this beautiful Wednesday. Okay, it's the hump day, and I hope you gotten over it. Okay, whatever it is you had to get over, I hope you climbed over it, and I'm glad you did, and you made it here on today. All right, welcome to the V Lenore Show. I'm your host, V Lenore, and I've got some special guests here today to discuss something that's been the talk of the town recently. All right. The recent documentary that was produced by 50 Cent. It was on Netflix, and it was called Sean Combs' The Reckoning. So today I've got some special guests, some that have known Diddy personally, others who worked in the business. Maybe they know a little something we don't know. But at the end of the day, all of us have watched it, and we all have opinions about it. And a lot of the opinions that we've heard from the public have been mixed reviews. And I just kind of want to have a discussion about some of the things that we saw. If your mind had been changed after seeing the documentary, or did it confirm some of your first you know, thoughts about who he is and what we believe to have happened here. Okay, so let's get started. I want to welcome my guests because everybody can't stay, so let's get started. All right, so the first guest I want to bring to the stage is let's see, what should I say? I'm gonna introduce a gentleman who has been helpful to me since I have started here in this YouTube space. Okay, he was one of the first interviews that I did when he was covering another case. Okay, and I want to introduce to you Mr. Dennis Byron, who is a celebrity photographer, investigative reporter, and a few other things. Dennis is producing movies and music, and he's done it all. He's managed some artists. So we have Dennis Byron. Okay, then
Maybe.
hey. So then I want to introduce another gentleman who has been a blessing in helping me even develop my platform to the next level. Okay, he also is a content creator. He is a filmmaker. He is a songwriter, song producer. You actually just heard one of his songs. He just did my theme song. Okay, and he also is a photographer, and he's a Renaissance man as well. Okay, and his name is Mr. Native Tribe. You know him on YouTube and other platforms as Native Tribe Urban Media. Hello, Native Tribe. Hi.
V. Lenore.
How are you? All right.
I am good. I am good. It is cold in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, well, it is California and it's not that cold here. Okay.
Whatever.
Anyway, I hate it for all you. Okay. Anyway, Next person I want to introduce is someone who I have known longer than anybody on this panel. I have been friends with this woman over 30 years. She is a comedian. She is a Renaissance woman, her damn self. Okay. She's a comedian. She is a mental health uh, advocate as well as an activist. She is a political commentator as well. And her name is Marla Thomas, also known as Marla Talks. Hey, Marla.
Hey,
Hey, can I tell you something? I'm
What?
glad to know that I met Native Tribe. So because I was bobbing to the, I really did like that intro. Do I have to get a divorce from my husband and take 6 to get you to?
I told you.
I mean, I don't. I'm not trying to hook up with you. I'm just saying the music vibe was bomb, and I have to be clear in this space because people are like she was on there and she tried to proposition Native Tribe. That's what they'll do. They'll do it. I'm trying to tell you, 37 years, he can't get rid of me. It's too late. It's too
It's too
expensive.
late.
He can't do it.
It's too late.
No,
But I
Too
told
late.
you, we had this discussion the other day. I told you I like my new little theme song. I told
But
you.
I could that theme song fire. I really seriously. I was like, I
It
was
is.
listening. I was like, oh, I was trying to do something else, but I couldn't. So awesome. Hats off.
I'm not trying to break up any happy homes, Marla. I'm not.
How do you know we're happy?
Oh my goodness. This is a story. Let me take some notes here.
Lord Jesus.
Dennis,
Lord
put the
Jesus.
pen down. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
All right. So next, I want to introduce someone who, let me tell you this. I haven't known AJ all that long, right? But when I tell you, and look, people on the panel don't feel no way, okay? But when I tell you that interview I did with AJ when she came on here, honey, that's probably one of the I felt like I was just a kid listening to bedtime stories, honey. She gave me some good stories from the 90s. All the questions I had, she answered them, honey. She had stories to tell. Y'all have to check out my interview with AJ Sanders, who is a comedian and actress. You can check her out at sea. She's around the world all the time. Okay, so the one and only AJ Sanders is here. Hi, AJ. Uh-oh, you're on mute, babe. Let me see. Can I take you off mute? Oh wait, I can probably down here. Let's see. You're say something now, AJ. We can't hear you. So do me a favor. Leave all the way out and come back and click that link again. We could hear you earlier. That's so weird. Okay. So go ahead and leave out and come back in. All right. All right. Okay. All right. And last but not least, my good sister friend who is beautiful inside and out. She is an actress. She is also a writer. She is a singer. She is, I think, a rising star on TikTok and giving us motivational tools and inspiration. She is the one and only gorgeous, sexy ingenue of the 90s. The one and only Cynda Williams. Hi, Cynda.
Hello.
Hey.
And let me just say this: I have the bomb panel today. I'm probably gonna bring out the horns, but we gotta do something about this applause, Native. I gotta figure out this applause. Now you're on mute. What's going on with the sound? Are you on mute?
No, I
I was
muted
on-
myself.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I could just yell out at any point, and I just want to hear everybody else's points. So I did that to control myself.
Lord have mercy. Okay, let me see if AJ is back. AJ, say something now. I can't hear you, babe.
Mm-mm.
That is so weird. Hold on. Let me
I honestly never heard her. I never.
You never
Heard her. Mm-mm.
Wait, did I hear her?
Mm-mm. She
Maybe
just
I just saw her.
never heard you. Mm-mm.
Okay, and she did leave all the way out. This is so weird. Okay, hold on. Native, what should I do?
Oh, let me see.
Hold on, let me try something else. Okay, I'm so sorry. Oh, okay, she left. She's probably gonna try to leave and come back again. Okay. So with that said, let's just get started. I'll try to fix her back on the stage when she comes. Let me ask this. You know, everybody here saw the documentary. How many of you actually have met or know Sean P. Diddy Combs? You can raise your hand or something. Okay. So Marla, Dennis. I don't know if AJ. No. How about you, Cynda? Have you ever met him?
Nope.
Okay. All right. So first and foremost, let me start with Dennis. Dennis, how well do you know Diddy, or have you come to know Diddy?
Probably met Diddy about 30 years ago, maybe 31 years ago,
Okay.
uh, in New York. He used to do parties in Manhattan, the Manhattan Center, and other venues, Cipriani's, his white parties. So I've known him over the years. I've talked to him casually, interviewed, been in the studio with him.
Okay. Okay. So you've been in the studio. So now your proximity to him, was it due to you just being
Professional, all professional.
all professional? Hold on
Right.
1 second. AJ, say something now.
Yep.
Yay. Okay. Okay. Let me bring you back on stage. All right. Yay. She's back, y'all. We can hear her. Okay. Hold on.
Hey.
All right. I think we're good. Okay, AJ, let me ask you. I just asked the folks on here who has met Diddy or knows Diddy personally. Do you? Have you ever met him?
I met him once. No, I met him twice.
Okay.
Once when back in the day when I was at a pool party thrown by Tashina Arnold.
Mhm.
Um he showed up with a whole bunch of bad boys. uh
Okay.
yeah. And then another time I saw him when I was working on the episode I did on Martin.
Hmm.
And so like
He was there.
afterwards, well, it was one of those things where you know, Martin was also like Biggie was slated to do Martin. So I think
Oh,
a lot of
right,
friends
right,
had shown up. Like it was almost like a block party afterwards. Like people had just shown up, come to the set and just hung out. And,
right.
you
Okay.
know, so he brought like Jodeci and
Hmm. Hmm.
Mary and Big Diddy and all. And so they were all there, you know?
Okay. All right. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
Dennis, let's
But I
go
don't,
back to.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, AJ. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm just gonna say I just don't I never had any personal interaction with him.
Okay.
Thank you, Jesus.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. Okay.
And I photographed him many times from award
Okay.
shows to parties to, so I published, he's been published, a lot of my work's been, some of his images have been published in The Source and Vive and Upskill. And so
Okay. Now, with that said, Dennis, so and I know you're short on time, so I kind of want to get some of the information I can out of you first. Um, what what interaction have you had with him? Have you been able to sit down, have conversations? I understand being in the same space with someone, you do get to know who they are just by, from observation and seeing how they relate to other people. But were you ever to have any one-on-one conversations or interactions with him? Professional. I
no,
mean, I know
no,
it was a professional.
everything's professional. Nothing, for example, we were in the studio with one of my in-laws, and he was working with one of my in-laws, so I was in the studio with them.
Okay. All right. Now, with that said, when you saw the documentary, no, let's go back. You were at the trial. You covered the trial for the 2 months in New York. You were there every day. I know you were in the courtroom most days, but you were there every day because Dennis's job, one of his jobs, I should say, was to photograph people coming in and out. He would do interviews as people were coming in and out of the courtroom and during breaks and that sort of thing. So, what was the vibe at the courthouse the entire time you were there? What did it feel like to be there and the energy around the situation?
From inside or outside, because I was both
Both.
outside. Well,
Well, okay. Well, let's say outside first. Let's say outside.
well, the biggest difference between this trial and many other trials I covered, there were a lot of social media uh, influences at this trial.
Yeah.
Uh, there was a lot of regular media as well, a
Yeah.
lot of legacy media, but I would say the social media um, crowd was very extensive. Then you had the whole some drama outside with the line sitters and the
Ah,
you know, yeah, I try to stay away from a lot of that because my focus was just capturing the witnesses, the attorneys,
Mm-hmm.
getting sound bites from attorneys, getting the right shots, catching the family coming in, catching them coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see some of that footage on TMZ or on my website.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that's what my focus. I didn't get really too much, into the social media people that were out there because they weren't the story.
Okay.
So
Now,
inside the court was different,
okay. So inside the courtroom, what was the vibe in there?
depending upon what.
Well, let me go back. When you speak of line sitters, because there may be people who don't understand this. So each day, it was first come, first served to get into the courthouse. And so there would be people out at like what, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, standing in line just so that they
So
would have a seat.
sometimes 24 hours, depending upon what witness was scheduled to testify. Like when Cassie was testifying, they had line sitters out a day early because the reporters wanted to have a seat in the courtroom. So there were like 34 seats for members of the uh, press, and then they had 14 seats for the public. So depending upon who you were, you would either get a seat on the public side or the media side, and you had to line up and be there early enough, and that sometimes created a problem for those who decided to skip the line. For those people had problems because there were people who stayed out overnight, and there were some fights that broke out outside.
Okay. So that's just amongst like folks who were trying to cover the case, whether they were blogs or what have you, versus not necessarily fans. We're talking about the bloggers,
Right.
okay,
Fans. That's interesting. Fans.
fans, supporters, whatever.
Supporters. Yeah,
Okay.
supporters. Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. We can have that discussion another day too. What's the difference? I don't know. What do you think? You think there's a difference between fans and supporters?
Uh, there could be, depending
Okay.
upon, you don't have to be fanning out for someone to support the position of what you believe the trial is going to be. So
Okay.
you don't have to be a fan, because I can support someone, but I may not be a fan of yours just
Got
based on the evidence.
Okay. Okay. So with that said, you were there every day, and of course, a lot of what was happening in the courtroom was addressed in the documentary itself, correct?
No, no, it wasn't in the
Well, I mean,
documentary.
such as, well, when I say it was depicted in, it was included in the sense that the discussion about Cassie is discussed in both places, right? What Lil Rod says, not so much.
Lil
But
Rod never
Capricorn,
testified.
that's what I just said. So Little Rod, not so much, but Capricorn Clark, her testimony in the courthouse was also included in the documentary. Capricorn Clark being one of Diddy's first assistants, or one of the leaders within his organization, and she is the person who accused Diddy of kidnapping her and forcing her to take him to Kid Cudi, who was a DJ. He was a DJ, right? Kid Cudi?
Singer. He's a
Singer.
recording
He's
artist.
a singer? Okay. I don't know anything about these young folks,
Yeah.
okay? Anyway, Kid Cudi was a singer, and he was allegedly
Well,
having
Kid Cudi's a rapper, I believe.
oh, okay. But he was
Kid Cudi does indeed rap. Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So he was
Doesn't have
alleged
like an R&B name, Kid Cudi.
he was alleged to have been having a relationship, or beginning a relationship, with Cassie, and Capricorn Clark was aware of this, and so Diddy accused Capricorn Clark accused Diddy of taking her to Kid Cudi's house so that he could address Kid Cudi, and he said he was going to unalive him when he got there. Obviously, that did not happen, but she
So the
testified in
testimony,
court that he took her there for that purpose, correct?
was that Puff came to her house one day, pants torn, had a gun. He told her that we're going to go kill a nigga and get in the car, come downstairs. That was the testimony. She gets in the car. They drive over to Cudi's house. Cudi was not home, so they called on the phone. I think Capricorn Clark called Cassie and then told Cassie that we're at Cuddy's house, and then Cuddy gets on the phone uh, to talk to Puff, and they had words exchange. The testimony, Cuddy's testimony, differed from what Capricorn Clark said. When Cuddy testified, he said he came over and Puffy wasn't there. But when Capricorn Clark testified, she said that when Cuddy came and saw Diddy, a chase ensued. Diddy started chasing Kid Cudi. Cudi never told the jurors that Puffy was chasing him. So uh, what ultimately happened was there was a cops were coming in the neighborhood, and Puff just left. But Cudi never told the jurors when he testified that Puffy chased him. So they both had different testimonies. So I think that's one of the reasons why it creates some confusion with the what Cudi said and what Capricorn Clark said.
But the point was to intimidate him, to get him to stop dating or dealing with Cassie on any level, correct? That was
I don't know what the point was. I know what the testimony
what was the
was.
stated point? The testimony was what
The stated
exactly?
point was that Puff was not feeling Cudi messing with Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so she says that he forced her to leave her home and to go there to his home. And then this is also the situation where the car was allegedly blown up or
It
set
was
on fire.
it was set on fire. It wasn't blown up. It was
Okay.
the car was in with with the little charred seating. It wasn't the car wasn't blown up. We heard the story about the car being blown up before the trial, but the car was you see the pictures. The pictures
But the point was someone tried to catch it, set it on fire.
right. It was a glove in the car, and that obviously he wasn't convicted of that, either arson, because the evidence didn't support an arson charge.
But it made sense that he would be the reason why that happened, correct?
No, I can't say that.
Well, he warned that he was going to do it, and then it happened. So we can assume he did it.
No, I can't assume that.
You can't
Well,
assume.
everyone testified that he did it, and that he said he
No,
was going to do it.
no. Only one to testify that there was discussion about burning the car was one witness. Not everyone testified to that.
But Cudi testified to that, and so
No,
did
what Cuddy's
wait, three people, Capricorn Clark, Cassie, and Cudi himself. All three of them said that Diddy said this was going to happen, and then it did happen.
Well, Cuddy didn't know who did it. There was a glove in the car. I'm just going by the testimony. I can't go by gossip. The testimony was that Cuddy didn't know who did it. Cassie made some statements about that Puffy had told her this supposedly was going to happen, but the jurors the jurors didn't believe that story because it sounded because the stories didn't match up when you start comparing the stories. It just didn't match up.
But it sounds like something was warned that would happen, and it did happen. And so the person who had the motive to do it, who said they were going to do it, was Diddy. That makes him a dangerous person in my book. There are other people who also testified of him beating them. One young lady said he dangled her across a balcony. My thing is this. This is
okay. So we're talking about the dangling. We want to talk about the dangling now.
Yeah.
So
well, here's the thing. This is what I'm saying. There are a lot of people that are accusing this man of being violent, and then we have proof that he is violent. There are
we have the proof that he is violent based on what we saw, the assaulting of Cassie.
Absolutely.
And that
I didn't say that he was being charged with that. I said we know he's violent. And we have proof that he's violent because we saw that. I spoke personally. You and I both spoke personally to the woman who has said adamantly for 30 plus years that she watched Diddy grab a weapon and fire it into her face. You and I talked to her personally.
We
She
did,
still
didn't
stands on
we? We did do that, right?
We did do that,
I
didn't we?
forgot about that one.
Uh-huh. And
I
she still stands on that, that he looked her dead in her face before he shot her in her face.
that's what she said to us on the interview. She
And
said,
she continues to say it. She said it in trial and she said it otherwise, but he got off on that.
I covered that trial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
and
covered that
and,
trial.
but here's the thing. You forgot that she stated on the witness stand that he shot her.
I didn't forget.
Yeah, well, when she got on the panel and she clarified that because you said, well, I was there and she never said it. And so I asked her, I said, I've heard her say it in interviews. She got on the panel, she admitted to it. My point is this: there's too many people. Lil Rod says that he heard and witnessed a situation
You
where,
talking the guy who never testified in the court? He never
yeah,
came to
the
the
guy that
courthouse
wasn't
and
asked to
testified.
testify,
That guy, the little guy.
the
Oh,
guy, the guy that
okay.
was not asked to testify, but did file a lawsuit against Diddy and still stands on this, and was also in the documentary, said that he knows that Diddy walked into a bathroom with his son and the man was shot on the bathroom floor, and he had to assist that man and drag him out into the front of the it was a studio. He
So
had to drag him out.
let's think about that for a second.
Okay.
We have a whole RICO case.
Yes.
Diddy's charged with arson,
Mhm.
kidnapping,
Mhm.
SA,
Mhm.
a bunch of charges.
Yeah.
He wasn't charged with murder. He wasn't charged with.
No.
I mean, Lil Rod would be right for a charge if the police believed that that actually happened, because that would go into a RICO, violence, intimidation, threats. He was never brought in as a witness. They never even put him on the stand.
Here's the thing, though.
Why do you think they didn't put him on the stand?
I'm gonna tell you. I think the reason they didn't put him on the stand because it did not align directly with the charges they were bringing, and then secondly, they may not have had actual proof. But that doesn't mean something didn't happen because proof was not there.
If you don't have proof, then why would you assume something happened? He told a
Well,
story. No, hold on. He told a story. I
mm,
heard the story. I read the lawsuit. He
mhm.
told a story. That story could have been repeated in front of those jurors. The prosecutors vetted their witnesses.
Right.
They vetted their witnesses.
Right.
If they felt that this story that he was telling had
Mhm.
some kind of credibility, his story would be great if put in front of a jury if they
It
believe
does.
that this happened.
Here's the thing. The problem is if they don't have the proof of it, right? If the evidence has been cleaned away, the actual victim themselves has disappeared out of nowhere because they can't find G. That's his name, right? But we do have pictures. But we do have pictures of blood from the shooting in that bathroom that Lil Rod provided. He wasn't brought into the case. The problem is,
So, did we see a police report? Let's ask this question. Do we have a police report that would corroborate that they came in and found blood in that bathroom? Because that's what I was looking for. Where's the police report at?
they told him that the event happened outside of the studio when in fact it didn't.
Okay.
Diddy told him, I was not here. This did not happen here. Tell the police it happened outside.
That's what
And
Rod said.
and here's the other thing. How you know it's a lie?
I mean, that's what he said. But
He didn't say that. He said that's what he said.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. But here's my question. Are we to believe that that Diddy,
it's not no Diddy.
Are we to believe that Dennis was not at the was not at the cook-off? Was he there? Were you at the
Wait.
cook-off? Yes or no?
wait. Are we to believe then that Diddy or people like Diddy? Let's not say Diddy in this. Do we believe that there are very rich and powerful people that don't have connections within law enforcement and possibly can make things disappear or prevent things
I mean,
from being prosecuted?
anything's possible.
Exactly. And
But that doesn't mean that.
But can I jump in right here? Because I think the foundation of the premise, which is why I keep raising my hand, this is honestly what our whole problem is. The court is definitive. You don't get to go in court and talk about he said, she said.
Right.
You're only going to be able to bring any information that can be proved. You can have any opinion you want outside of a courtroom, which is why where we degraded the rule of law is our effing problem in general. So, and to me, it was an overreach to go for RICO.
Okay.
There's a lot
I
more that
totally
we could
agree.
have done, because
Totally
I do
agree.
think, based on, and I'm only basing on one thing, I saw this man drag a woman down a hallway and kick the shit out of her. I saw it. So what I keep
He
saying to
should have
people
been
now
charged
is,
with that. He
that's
should have been
it.
charged with that.
But and there may be other things that you can drag out. But the point I'm really making is, I'm listening to Dennis and I'm laughing and going, not that I agree that Diddy is not a monster, but for his behavior, but I agree that what they're able to prove, you are innocent until proven guilty. Proof comes with facts, not just what you thought or what you said. So you have to bring something to the table in a courtroom for it to be admissible, for you to be able to convince a jury of your peers, 12 people that you get to choose. And that's where we're all effed up. So in reality, everything now is about how you feel. Everything is about relative facts. And the mere fact that back in the day, when Kellyanne Conway, back in the day, said these are alternative facts, that's a lie. There is no alternative fact. A fact is a
Right.
freaking fact.
A fact
Bring
is a
your
fact.
facts.
No
Well,
such.
and here's the thing. What I'm speaking of, and I would agree with you. I would agree that you can't go in there with rumor, which is why Lil Rod didn't go in there and testify, because they didn't have definitive facts to support the story. That doesn't
But
mean the
you
story is not
you
a true
bent
story.
the mind of people outside with your personal experience, and that now is a social media issue, because
Okay.
you can
Right.
do that. And so I've already tainted the possibility to be actually dealing with facts according to the law. That's all I'm saying. So
Okay.
more people needed to come forward with stuff that can be proven. They raided his house in Miami. They raided his house in LA. I'm sure there's some proof in there. And to answer your last question, I would love to do that if you don't mind, Dennis. Of course, power and influence has reach everywhere. Duh. But until you can prove it, And the problem is, people kowtow and they're afraid to actually stand tall against power and influence because of what that can do to my life.
Now, the reason why I bring that up, let me say this. The reason why we're even having this discussion is because there are people that are upset about this documentary, right? Because they're bringing about stories and their experiences. And many of these things were not brought up in court because they were not relative to the facts of that particular case, right? But it doesn't mean that it doesn't give you a full scope, a full picture of who other people's experiences have been with this individual, right? And it might also explain why certain things transpired that way that they did in the courtroom, if in my opinion as well. When we talk about, let me ask this. Let me go to Cynda in particular. Cynda, when you watched the documentary, what is the perspective that you left that documentary feeling about Diddy? And was it different than what you thought of him before you watched it? Uh-oh, you're muted. Are you muted, babe? Lord have mercy, Jesus. What's going on? What's going on, sis? There you go. Go ahead. Uh-oh. I could hear you a minute ago. Okay, how about now? Oh my God.
I think I can read her lips. She said that I believe what Dennis has said, and I want
That's what
to.
she said, Dennis. Pipe down.
We can't hear you, Cynda.
There's no
We
facts in
heard you.
anything that's coming out of your mouth. You're like Snoopy right now. Womp 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 womp.
How about now? Can you say something now? I don't know what happened to you.
She said, "Wait 1 minute." I saw that.
Okay.
I think she's going to probably do what I did, go out and come back.
Yeah, go out and come back, Cynda. I don't know why that happened.
And you know what? Go to your settings and then check your microphone, your internal microphone, because that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
By the way, AJ, I'm a big fan.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yay, we did it.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay.
You're welcome.
So, thank you. I I don't have an opinion about Diddy because I never met Diddy. I understand the experiences that happen, and having been in that world and know the power that people have, and the protection that people have. Could I do I believe that these things probably happened and could have happened? Absolutely. And do I understand that that doesn't matter if they don't say something right away?
Mm,
Absolutely. And do I understand also that if they say something right away that they're absolutely right, their career will be over? Absolutely. Because all those things have happened to me and to other people I know.
mhm,
Being bad, horrible things that should never happen to anybody happens all the time.
mhm,
And no one ever knows. And you can't prove it. And the police don't believe you
mhm,
because you can't prove it. Because
mhm,
you don't tell on yourself or them because of the power that they have.
mhm,
So what I try to do is give everybody the benefit of the doubt and say, it's very probable that a lot of this stuff is true, and a lot of this stuff is true from different perspectives,
mhm,
but there's rights and wrongs all the way around.
mhm,
And what I left that documentary thinking was, all those people, their priorities were career, their priorities were fame and lifestyle, instead of their soul and their spirit. Because you can have you I made a choice to not be the star I could have been, because I didn't go to those parties, because I didn't make those choices. You can make those choices
mhm,
and have a career like me where you're working your butt off in the independent world because you're not a part of that power play. You're not a part of it. That's a choice. I sacrificed fame and a lot of money and all of that because my priority was me.
mhm, mhm,
So I don't have any negative thoughts about anybody involved because I believe everybody comes from a place of self-protection and love. I wish this stuff didn't happen, and I hope this is the beginning of it stopping, or
mhm,
at least being people made aware of it. But
mhm,
I didn't walk away feeling anything bad or good about anybody. I just felt really sad that we've come here. But
mhm.
I'm very happy that we've come here on the other hand, because it means maybe we'll stop it.
You
You
said
know?
some you said something very key, that every person, and I do believe every single person that was highlighted in the documentary, for the most part, they did have a desire for fame and or fortune, with the exception of maybe one. And the one person I would say didn't necessarily have that, didn't seem to have that sort of thing at the forefront, was the young lady who, I don't remember her name, but the young lady at
The
the very
girl from the
beginning,
beginning,
that,
yeah,
right, that was in the, did the music video,
yeah.
and alleges that he, oh well, two actually, the young lady that, that she alleged he violated her,
Mhm.
um sexually, and she was just there to film a music video, but she wasn't even looking to be in the
She
business.
wasn't
He
even
asked,
there to film a music video.
yeah,
She wasn't even there for that.
yeah, she didn't
And,
come for that,
and
right,
there's a lot of people like that. There are probably more people like that that get hurt, that
yep,
are in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they're
yep,
taken advantage of, who then just quit. They just walk away. They never tell anybody,
yep,
and their life and moving forward is more important to them than their revenge,
yep,
and trying to stop someone that they see cannot be stopped, at least from a person like them. And
yep,
I think there are tons of people, men and women, like that.
yep, I agree, I agree.
Mhm.
Native, what say you?
Yes.
Do you feel you've had some experience working in the music industry? You've
Mhm.
been a part of hip hop. You've been in different circles. What do you think? Do you think some of these things that we've heard about, are you kind of like Cynda in that you have seen certain things transpire and you understand why people may or may not speak up? when certain things are happening to preserve their careers or their own personal safety?
First of all, shout out to the chat. I love y'all. Okay, all right. Let's just start there. Okay, y'all are the bomb. Okay, y'all think y'all know me. Okay, that's what it is. Y'all think y'all know me. Okay, let's just start there. All right. So shout out to the chat. Love y'all. I would say, let me just say this. I walked away from the documentary with a confirmation, right? Because Diddy has always been trash to me. Before any of this happened, before all of this transpired, I didn't know people at Bad Boy, but guess what? I knew people in New York. I knew people at Rough Riders. I knew people at different labels that would tell me about this guy named Diddy. And I remember they was telling me about parties way, way, way before anybody had heard of them. So all of this stuff was happening. So for me, when I watched it, it was confirmation. Now, as far as my experience goes, I'm a Southern boy. I'm from the South, right? So my dealings were mainly in New Orleans, right? Cash Money Records, Tombstone Records, Take Full Records, all these different record labels, right? So Cash Money came out of that being the biggest out of all of them, right? Including they even surpassed No Limit at one point, right? So just knowing what I know about how that company was run and how that CEO is, right? And how it's not that much different than what you saw in that documentary. The difference being is that there were no charges brought to anybody in those cases, right? So we're talking about like years and years and years of people chasing dreams and seeing that dream right in front of them and somebody saying, well, all you have to do, and then they leave that blank open, right? That blank space open. If you want this, then all you have to do is, and then there's a blank space, and then they fill in that blank, right? So this is happening not only because, see, a lot of times when stuff happens, when these news stories come out and we hear about these celebrities, we isolate it to just that celebrity, just that company, just that time, right? But in reality, if you've been anywhere near this business called music, then you know that this is not something that is isolated to a Diddy, right?
Absolutely.
So it is. So for me, I walked away with it with absolute confirmation that he is trash, as most of them are, right? Not all, when you got a few good ones out there, right? Dick Griffey, you know what I'm saying? You got a few of them out there that are doing their thing. But when you look at the Jay Princes of the world, the babies of the world, when you look at the Diddies of the world, the Suge Knights of the world, these people that were dealing with them and that were in those camps and trying to get on, they have stories. And I think that it's important, we cannot come with the everybody lying defense. I think that it's important that we hear these stories and that we believe these people because these people have gone through this shit. And I
Right.
think that a lot of times what we will do is we will say, well, it didn't happen to me. It
So
didn't happen to anybody I know, so therefore it's okay. It's
mhm,
not.
mhm,
It's not okay. We have to be able to say, look, this person went through that. Let me hear them out. Because the person on the other end of the accusation is the one that has everything to lose.
mhm.
So, so that's what I got out of the whole thing. Is just that, look, I'm not gonna tell nobody that they didn't experience something. I'm not in a position to tell somebody they didn't see something.
Mhm,
I'm not in a position to tell nobody, no, that didn't happen. You see
mhm,
what I'm saying?
mhm.
So for me, again, the only thing I walked away with was just absolute confirmation that this man is trash. If y'all know him, if y'all been to his house, if y'all got Christmas gifts from him, if he bought you, if he paid for your Popeyes, okay, I'm sorry.
Not
I'm
Popeyes. Why
sorry.
you gotta drink Popeyes into this?
I'm sorry. If he
Popeyes
paid
for
for your
you.
Popeyes, look, I'm sorry, AJ. If he paid for your Popeyes big dogs, I'm sorry. Okay, but that nigga trash. Okay, that nigga is
Right.
trash.
let me
Okay,
let me hop
So
Oh,
in right
well,
here.
wait, Marla, before you say anything, go
so
ahead.
real quickly. So as I just want to kind of unpack the documentary and some of the things that people that probably weren't around 20 years ago that are commenting on the documentary because there are a lot of young people that know nothing about Bad Boy, nothing about Rough Rider, YD, Siobhan, nothing about these labels that obviously molded the music of the 90s. When we talk about Tupac and whether or not Puff may have had something to do with that, and talk about the shooting at Quad Studio, there were people that were saying that, oh, maybe Puff had something to do with that. But why would Puff have Tupac shot at his studio where his artist is upstairs working? There was someone else that had more of a motive to have Tupac shot. And you might know, I'm not putting their name out there, but
Come on.
You can't have you
You can't, but without
you can't
something
go
like
all
that.
the way
well,
to
let's just
climax
say
and then
they
never mind.
accuse someone by the name of Jimmy. I don't know if
Jimmy
anyone knows Henchman. You're right. They accuse
I
someone
put
like
it. Look, I don't know this man, Jimmy Henchman. They're accusing him to have had a motive.
Well, no, they suggested that he may have had something to do with
Right.
Tupac being shot. So, but there
Right.
were others who said, "Oh, it could have been Puffy." But I mean, again, these are all theories. They're all theories. But Tupac, Henchman had more to gain by Pac being hurt,
Okay.
not Diddy.
Okay.
And
So
then we
that's
talk about Biggie.
okay.
There was, and Lauren LaRosa refuted what was in the documentary by way of her reaching out to the manager of Biggie and also the one who's also I guess he's was part of the estate of Biggie, who said that Diddy didn't take money from recoup money from the funeral. That didn't happen. But that's what people left thinking that happened. So it was a lot of things that then think about who's doing the documentary.
Okay, now that's what I'm going to
why
talk
didn't Jane
about.
Doe? Why did he have Jane? Jane Doe was a crucial witness in this trial.
He
never.
doesn't. So can we talk? Let me stop right there. So let's talk about that. People have said because 50 Cent has an axe to grind with Diddy, that somehow that means that this documentary cannot be true. It can't be true.
I didn't say that.
Wait. Let me finish. It can't be balanced. It's not unbiased because the person who produced it doesn't like Diddy. You make a point. I don't know what all of their issues are, but we do know that Jane Doe, who was a one of the last witnesses / victims, allegedly,
She was witness number 2.
She was witness number 2.
Star witness number 2.
She was one of the last people to actually testify, right? As a victim in the case, that she was also forced to do freak offs and all of these things. She is the mother of 50 Cent's youngest child, correct? Her name is Daphne Joy. I said it, and that is his baby mama. And
the judge is watching me.
Okay, well, look, I wasn't in the court. Daphne Joy was witness number 2, Jane Doe.
Allegedly.
I ain't saying allegedly. It was Daphne Joy. You can say allegedly. I wasn't there. All right. I say it was her. Make them sue me because it's
prove
the truth.
Me wrong, exactly.
Right. Prove me wrong. It was Daphne Joy, and she says a lot of things about Diddy forcing her to do the freak offs and all of these things. We know that 50 certainly has a problem with that as well, right? But that doesn't mean that because 50 Cent takes the liberty and uses his access to put together a documentary and allow a storyteller to, which was the young lady who is the actual director of it, doesn't mean that the things that were depicted in it.
Well, she's a showrunner. She's a showrunner.
She's a showrunner. Now, here's the other thing. Netflix has to do their own checks and balances. Netflix is going to do that. I'm sure 50's lawyers are going to do that. So this idea that everything in this documentary is just slanted and not true and not based in fact, I think that's risky to say too, because I don't think Netflix is going to put themselves in that kind of predicament because they also produce.
When you can put someone in front of a camera, you give them a release. and those releases indemnifies the the to a certain degree the Netflix as well as 50 Cent. If they say these things happen and you know
Yeah.
they have a release in front, once you
Yeah.
sign that release, I mean, it falls on you.
Yeah,
It
that's
falls
true.
on that person.
AJ, what
Yes.
say you? What do you think? Based on what you saw, what were your thoughts? Were you kind of like I'm sure you agree with a little bit of what everyone has said, but what were your thoughts prior to watching the documentary and afterwards? Did you have different thoughts about Diddy, the circumstances, or even the victims?
So I'm leaning towards what Native Tribe said, like, because and what everybody said actually, because uh when I nothing I saw on the video on the documentary surprised me. It was
Mhm.
something that I had already known over the years, in terms of, based on my experience in the industry, and also based on, reliable sources and their stories, just like what Native and what Cynda had spoken about. And, you know, um, and I understand, the whole legal ramifications of, making sure we're careful as to what we say and how we say it. But I absolutely believe that the game is played at such a very high level.
Mhm.
And I feel like Diddy is such a narcissist and so self-aggrandized. Like I said in my video, he is such an arrogant piece of shit that I think that he probably had like, even though it's believed that, oh, he's has a problem with the documentary coming out, I feel like he probably is capitalizing off of it too, because he's the kind of
Mm.
person that
Hmm.
any publicity is good publicity. People are still talking. Like, he's loving the fact that his name is, like, he's still relevant. I mean, he's just that desperate of a dude. And
You really believe that he needs a documentary done about himself by his op, and he's benefiting from that.
I, so what makes me lean towards that is the fact that he was videoing his life up until he went to trial.
But he
And
was, he was doing that for his own. It wasn't meant to be released to the public.
Yet.
okay, okay,
So, so he has. Well, if you remember during the trial and during the sentencing, he had to surrender 99 devices to the government. You'll recall that was part of the judgment.
mm-hmm,
So there were content on those devices that he recorded.
mm-hmm.
So they weren't released. Some of the content wasn't released. I
Well,
don't
hold on,
think.
though, Dennis. Hold on one second. Let her finish her thought, and then I promise I'll let you speak on that because I think this is all relevant to what we're talking about. But go ahead, finish your thought,
No,
AJ.
absolutely. I know. I've always known that he was that little insecure person that was always jealous of the better looking guy, or, the guy who, the ladies got. And, like, I see all of the steps that he took to become the person that we ended up seeing. Like, I think he's always been a vindictive person, always been very manipulative. And, and I've always, I dated a guy who was signed with Bad Boy for a second.
Mhm.
And so I heard stories there. And so the brother was like, nah, I'm going back to Tampa. uh,
Mm,
I'm
mm,
about to head on over back home. I don't really want nothing to do with this. I've been offered, the opportunity to get into the music industry, and I turned it down based on what I saw. So, like, but my point is, the game is played at such a high level, to a degree that all the stuff that we're talking about down here, and
mm.
Cinda knows what I'm talking about, I think. I mean, you probably do too, Native. Like, it's played at such a high level that Diddy is just another pawn in the game. You
He's a
know what I
pawn
Yeah.
as
mean?
well. I
And
agree.
so and so it goes so high, and it runs so deep, and it spreads so wide, that he is, but I believe that he's been protected this whole time. Up
Hmm.
until this point, I think he's had protection. and he's been covered. That's why he got away with the melee that happened at that school when the kids got
City
trampled.
College. Yep.
Yeah, I think that all of those moments was when he decided to play the game in a way that benefited him. And so once he realized how untouchable he was, he felt like I can get away with anything. I can do whatever I want. I can do what I
Mhm.
want. I can do as many drugs as I want. Ain't nobody gonna come for me because A, B, and C got me protected. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I
And
believe that's why a lot of stuff didn't get into the courtrooms because,
Mhm.
or enough stuff. Let me put it back. Let me go back. That's why I think the police didn't even probably go and check the bathroom of that studio. You
There
know?
are forces that people think are fantasy that
Yep.
are not fantasy. I know they are not fantasy, they are real.
Yes.
They are real, and once you get to a certain level, once you are invited in,
Mm-hmm.
we are protected from all of our laws.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's why, and that can I add to that? Excuse me. Just to piggyback on that, I believe that that's why we never see their faces, we never see their names, we never know who they are, but they do exist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
And, and,
so,
and I think that
And can I piggyback off the piggyback? I'm sorry, Marla. I'm so
no,
sorry.
because I'll
Don't be
piggyback on you piggybacking on her.
don't, don't be
No Diddy.
look. I know that
No doubt.
pause.
look. I know that we just starting our new relationship, Marla. So I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. I
Look,
know. But right now it's
look.
not solidified because you've given me nothing. I
Is
haven't.
this considered the honeymoon stage?
No, girl, we haven't he hadn't even paid the bill. We're at our first dinner. I don't know what
Oh,
he's
okay,
talking
okay. I
about.
just want to be clear.
Listen,
He just walked in the restaurant.
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. Listen. To piggyback about what you're saying, AJ. Not only do you get like the protection from like Cynda was saying, but you also get the people that no matter what you do, no matter they don't care. Like Trump said, he could shoot somebody in the middle of whatever street, and
Times
they would still
Square.
be
Town right, time, yeah.
yeah, right. You're when you get to a level of a Diddy, when you get to a level of of all these people, it doesn't matter what you do. There are going to be people that are going to make excuses. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to be people that's going to say no, they didn't happen. You can't believe them. Why would I believe them? That whole thing comes about when you get to a certain level as well. So not only are you protected personally, but also out here in these streets you also have a level of protection because they're going to form around a Bill Cosby. They're going to form around a Diddy and they're going to say, how you going to believe them people? You see what I'm saying? And there's always going to be those detractors that are going to say like, oh my God, no, they're trying to tear down the black man. I've seen that shit so much that it's just sickening to me that whenever it's a celebrity involved, right? We're not even talking about civil rights leaders. Nobody ever mentions Mumia Abu Jamal, who's locked up for life for a crime he
Come
didn't
on.
commit. No, 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 no. We got to talk about Diddy. We got to protect Diddy when Diddy has never, ever, ever at any point protected
Protected
anyone.
us.
Can I say this? Can I add to that? The protection is because he's doing their bidding.
Right. Right.
He's doing their bidding. So what is their bidding?
Mhm.
Let's go back to Tupac when he was affiliated with the Black Panthers.
Mm.
Mm.
Mhm.
They had been surveying him for all of his life since he was about 10 years old, right?
Yep.
So how do we get close to this dude? Well, he's a rapper. Oh, let's call our guy, Diddy. Maybe he can get close to him. Maybe we can. You feel what you connecting the dots?
Mm-hmm. And
So
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I jump on?
And Marla and then Dennis after that. Go ahead.
I'm gonna jump on. I want everybody to understand. I'm about to be the weight on all your backs based on your statements. Here's where I'm dismayed. When will we effing learn? Because
mm,
here's the thing. Everything you're saying is true. We don't get it. And here's what we don't get. When are we going to start using the examples that we have before us? We mentioned 3 just in casual conversation. You're never going to be in that invisible power structure. So when it
Mm.
comes
Right.
time to be sacrificed, you fools, you're still just a black dude that we've used and we've robbed your culture, stuck it to you without lube, and let you think that you're one of us. You will never be one of them.
You
And
know
you're not
what
the
it
And
is,
black
let
dude
me
in
Marla?
say
their
this.
eyes. You're that
And
nigga.
I mean,
I'm not
that's
gonna say names because we are still in the industry, and even though we are not part. I say we're in it, but we are not of it. But I
Right.
will say this: look around right now, where there is a disparaging difference between uber wealthy and nobody else. A party got thrown, and I will say this: Kris Jenner's birthday. Who was there? Do your research. Go
I
because
saw.
okay, that's what it comes down to. That's what they choose who they're going to actually, based on your participation, based on your silence, based on where you fit into their plan. It's never your plan. Bill Cosby can go down. Will Smith can go down. Diddy can go down. They can all go down. And the ones that do not, they have to, they're now, only now I think that they're coming up in a whole nother realm of, and I will say this, a Cat Williams. Those people are like, there's some rebels out here that are like, we just don't give a shit.
Okay,
So
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, wait,
no, it's all no.
one
So,
more
so I,
thing.
and let me back up and say this, and I'm gonna piggyback. I'm going even further back to Cynda. I have never been to a freak off, but I have been personally invited to 2 Uber celebrity parties, and it was my experience that I walked in the door with other celebrity friends, and I said, "Whoa." What I saw in the first 5 minutes was so egregious to my soul that I said, I cannot stay. I don't want to shame anybody else, but I was like, you know what? Hey guys, I'm not feeling good. I'm going to grab a car and just, you guys enjoy yourselves. And all I could think to myself, and this is real for me, Marla Annette McCraw Thomas, if you even sit down and something should happen to you, there's no way you will be able to convince yourself or anyone else that you were not in agreement with what happened.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Absolutely.
talking 80% of people without clothes on. A bunch of stuff went down that I saw like that. And I was like, oh. And I told my husband, I said, I have to be honest. That's the closest that I can
I'm
get.
sure Dave was not there. For anyone who
No,
wants to know,
Dave was
he's
not
not
there.
with you. Dave was not there with you.
Dave was not there.
I want
But
to
even
say
though
that.
he is in Take 6 and he's a gospel singer, he does swear and he
Right.
drinks caffeine.
Dave
I'm
was
just gonna
not
say that.
there.
Wasn't there. He wasn't there. But I'm just saying the invitation was to me and friends. And I'm telling you that I was blown to the floor in my spirit. And I'm telling you what my actual real thoughts were. And I thought, there's a responsibility here to myself. No one told me, no one had to say anything. I
Wait,
never
hold
said
on
a
one
word.
second. Marla, hold on one second. Dennis has to go.
Okay, bye, Dennis.
And and Dennis, I want to give you a chance to say something because well, go ahead, say whatever you want to say before you leave because I know you were.
I want to say thank you for inviting me to the panel. Just keep an open mind when when you analyze this documentary. I'm keeping an open mind. I don't
Who
want
are you,
you to
Dennis?
think.
Are you keeping an open mind?
I
Oh,
think his mind is open.
absolutely.
His mind
Yes.
is not. I don't know,
No,
Dennis.
no,
Do you?
there you
Let me
go.
ask you this before you
Yeah,
go.
wait, hold on. You gave me a final word. I gotta
Wait,
go.
before you go, I want to give you an opportunity. Are you of the mindset that Diddy has been unfairly treated through this process, whether that's through media, the court system? Do you think he has been unfairly depicted and treated?
So I'm coming from a position of knowing how this case started.
Mm-hmm.
For example, let's take it from the time the lawsuit was filed
Mm-hmm.
and then settled.
Mm-hmm.
That opened the floodgate for people to file lawsuits. The lawyers smelled blood in the water.
Okay.
They heard $20 million. They heard rumors of $20 million. It wasn't confirmed until the court date. Then you had the video of Cassie being released.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the raids on both homes in California and in Florida.
Mhm.
Then you had people coming out telling all kind of stories. Or I'm not going to say I believe every lawsuit because we don't know what the facts are of these lawsuits, and some of them likely will never make it to a trial. Either they'll get several have been, a lot of them been dismissed already. None has been settled, and it's just a process. I just say keep an open mind. I mean, I've seen this play before. This is not just with Diddy. I've seen it many times. I've seen, I see even with the guy in the White House right now. There a woman came out who said he did things to them. Only Jean Carroll got justice. But what about these other people that? Excuse me.
Was justice served even there? Because
Well, she got
that
it.
person.
She got a sizable judgment.
Uh-huh.
You had 13, 14 women who came out and said before he was even in the White House they did these things. What happened to these women?
Yeah. What
I
happened to
mean,
him?
so
And why is he
yeah.
in the White House? But see, that's the point. When you have a certain level of power, access, and
Well, absolutely. He's
so he's
listen.
protected. He can do
What?
whatever he wants to people. And my thing is this, Dennis. I guess my concern is that yes, I agree that things have to be black and white and very tangible in order for there to be convictions that happen in a court system. But that doesn't mean that
Let,
is the
let,
whole story.
no,
And my
no, I know that. I know that, but there again, what Marla said, and and I agree. There are facts, but you have to be able to get those facts in front of the people who can do something about it.
sure,
I
and
mean,
some of
people.
it
I mean,
wasn't about that.
trust me. Whoever he did wrong. Even listening to Kalina tell her story, $5,000 she wanted him wanted to borrow 5,000 from him. He told her no, but he realized soon thereafter he needed her help.
Yeah, 3 days later. Now let me ask you this. You saw the recording, and then I know, and I got to ask you this before you go. You saw the recording, very first scene of the documentary. Diddy is on the phones with his attorneys, and he's telling them, "You may be out here doing this media game, but you're not doing it correctly." I'm paraphrasing. He says, the people that you're trying to get in front of at this point, people are not necessarily going to CNN. They're not necessarily going to Fox News. They're not necessarily going to MSNBC to get their news and their information. You got to go where the people are, and the people are on TikTok. They're on YouTube. They're on social
And
media.
he's
So
and he's exactly right.
My question is this. So he said, you've got to do something different, and you need somebody who is good at the dirtiest level, the dirty game of propaganda. That's what he said. And it looks like that's what has happened. Do you agree that he's out here paying media and vloggers and the like to do his bidding now?
This is how I interpret that scene. I'll tell you how I interpreted that scene. Based on all the things that were being said about him before he got to that position, maybe the propaganda machine had already started, and he's saying you have to counter the propaganda. So you can't find your audience on CNN because the jury that you're going to try to pull from are going to be the people on social media.
Is
So
Diddy paying bloggers to come out here and talk on his behalf?
how can I answer that? He never paid me anything. Well, I would say he paid me anything, but this is back in the day.
Okay.
Is that a confession, Dennis?
No. I'm just saying business, other business.
Asking you, you are a fat giver of your own life. You just
Right.
said,
No, I'm saying had
not
other
saying
business.
He never paid me anything.
I'm saying I had other business. I have a media company. I've sold content.
Be clear.
I've licensed content. I've done things for the betterment of hip hop. So no,
I'm
he
giving
had
you
to.
the opportunity for clarity, Dennis. On your
No,
own
no,
statement.
don't clip this out. Don't clip this out and say he did. No. No.
Dennis,
But it
Dennis,
does appear that there
Dennis
are
Brown.
bloggers out here speaking for him. That
Dennis,
go ahead.
Yes, Native.
Dennis, you ain't get a big box out of this. You ain't get a chicken. You ain't get a Popeye's biscuit.
I ain't get no chicken, no nothing.
You ain't get no chicken, no biscuits. Ain't nothing come with this.
Nothing. I paid for my
You
own
just
lunch,
got
paid
Not
for my
even no
own
butterfly
commentations.
shrimp. Not even popcorn chicken.
AJ and Native, can we please hear from Cynda? She's the only reasonable one on this panel.
Right.
Yes,
Cynda's
That
the
is
only
true.
one who's like,
the voice of reason.
Yeah.
she is.
Well, that's just because I'm
Thank you.
got white hair, and
Oh, please.
Are you leaving, Dennis?
I have to go. I have to
Thank
do a
you so
taping.
much, Dennis, for your.
Dennis,
Nice to
Without
meet
him,
you.
there wouldn't have been a conversation because we all would have been. He's trash, but I appreciate to have the
He is
logical
trash.
mind. You know, I'm not saying that, but we
said
needed that conversation to be fair. I think. You know, I was watching tonight. I was watching. Thank you. Do you have anything else to say before I talk, Mr. Byron?
No, I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I've been listening to like other people talk about this stuff too, and I was listening to Ms. Wright, Jaguar Wright, who has been one of the only brave souls that's been talking about this stuff.
I gotta go now. I gotta go. Jaguar, I gotta go.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about her.
Gene Dale and
Oh,
Jaguar,
yeah.
right? I gotta go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh Lord, shut up, Dennis.
Yeah, I don't know anything about her. I was just my point is that
What
there
the
are
fuzzmack is happening on this panel?
very varying opinions, because her opinion is the documentary sucked because it didn't go far enough. You know, it didn't tell enough. Enough people didn't say anything that needed to say something. And
Right.
and so there's going to be a disparity. Everybody's got an opinion based on their own experiences. And I absolutely know in my heart that he did a lot of those things. I absolutely know in my heart that there are liars that said he did things he didn't do.
Absolutely.
That's just the way it is. There's always going to be people that say something happened
That did.
None.
and they're telling their truth, and it did. And then there's going to be people that are like, okay, I need 20 million or I need some money, so let me go lie. And those are the ones that screw it up for everybody that's trying to change anything.
But that's the world.
But
And-
that's
true.
the world.
That's the world. And I can I just at least say this?
Mhm.
I think that you know, Dennis definitely he drew the short straw tonight. But the truth of the matter is that there's certain things that I really wish we could reconstitute and think about. The fact that we're no longer using our own eyes as recorders of truth. And we don't have every specific, which is what I say all the time. You know, being somebody who briefly was on reality TV, you judged my life on 2 minutes of television after 27 years. What I'm really saying is, but that's what you're supposed to do. If I didn't expect that to happen, stay the hell off the TV, because you don't have the benefit of everything, but you can pretty much gather certain information. And I'm saying the same thing. What I'm saying is, in this moment, we saw Puff, if nothing else, drag Cassie in an innocent scenario and beat the holy shit out of her. We've seen it. And then the rest of it you can begin to surmise. Albie Shore has been speaking out
Mhm.
from an experiential standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
We all I don't know any, and I'm not gonna I don't want to do speculation, but I'm gonna tell you this: when Kim Porter died,
Come on.
I said,
Mm.
what? How do you go from completely healthy
To dying from
dead of
pneumonia.
pneumonia in 5 days? How does that
Okay.
work?
All
So
right.
what I was saying
go
is,
ahead.
what? Now, do I have any information? I do not. Let me be clear. But my thing is, you don't need me to say, you know what? Unless you can show me the formula, God, that the sky is blue and what you put into that to make it that way, I can't call it true. I can see that the sky is blue. And that's all that I'm trying. And I think that what Cynda's saying, and I think everyone on this panel may agree, this is the level of truth and accountability based on relevance that we're all effing missing. And it's making me mad, because the reality is, this is why people go through the loophole. This is why it happens, because And let me say this, as we deal with 47, he said that he's the only one that can get away with that because, to be honest, it's the melanin and position that will allow him to not take the short straw. Everyone else is expendable because the
So
people at the top who funded those parties, who are, without them, there is no music industry.
so
You gotta toss this dude under the bus. Let him be the one, because some of the
yeah.
stuff they're gonna come up and find in that house and in these files and in those tapes are gonna involve people that will blow the cap back off your head.
Some of those
That's a
people that we're
fact.
big fans of,
Yeah.
Hello.
that
Without
we
them,
adore.
the industry collapses.
Yeah.
So listen,
Yes,
let me can I please
Yes.
respond to what
Jump in, AJ.
so Marla said something earlier about opening our eyes. How much proof do we need? See, fame, this is why I want to give a shout out to people like Cynda and myself and Native, because, and you too, as a matter of fact, because it takes a very strong intestinal fortitude, because fame is extremely seductive.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely seductive. And there's parts of us, like God, we institution fundamentally, we all have that intuition of, yeah, this may not work out, or yeah, I probably shouldn't go to this party, or maybe I shouldn't stay at this party, but there's that other part of some people that go, yeah, but if I could, but I might just, but things just might work, but I might get that big thing,
I might get that break.
I may get something. They told me I was gonna get, if I go here, that I was gonna get that. So, and then once they get there, then they're compromised or whatever. So shout out to us who made a conscious decision. Go, you know what? I am more important than the deal. I am more important that I value myself and my level of integrity more so than I do willing to compromise myself for anything.
Right.
So
Right. I just want to say two things about that. Well, one thing about that, AJ. Marla, I ain't know all your government names was pretty. Lord have mercy. You listed all the government names and you got a list of pretty ass government names. How does that happen?
My dad was a major league ball player, so they didn't play by the rules. They tried to they tried to send me down the Bow Street, lighten me up,
See,
make
there
me.
you go. There you go.
Listen,
There
listen,
you
Job was ground zero
you
naval
listed
rights.
out all your government names, Marla, and I was impressed with each and every one. Lord have mercy. Um uh, but but AJ, what I would say about that is that, yeah, it is that, if you ever watch the Boondocks, there's the one episode where Riley is trying to sell the chocolate to the people and he turns into Scarface, right? And so Huey's trying to tell him, this ain't no movie. And so then he says, you know what? This ain't no movie, but what if this was a movie? And so a lot of times, so he bases his action on that, right? What if this was a movie? You know what I'm saying? And then proceeds to cuss these people out and almost get shot. So I think that when we are in those positions, when we are in those rooms and we're in with those people, we're thinking like, yeah, like you said, I'm a long shot. You know what I'm saying? I am from Pensacola, Florida, a place that I have to describe to people on the map where it is, right? And
Mm-hmm.
here I am sitting up here with Cash Money Records and Manny Fresh and we about to do this thing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, it is improbable for me to be here right now. What are the chances that I could be in this room, right? Coming from where I come from. But then when I looked around and I see that people that are already in the room are miserable, people that are already in the room are not enjoying themselves. You got these rappers that are coming back and suing. You got these rappers that ain't.
You better
You
speak.
got these rappers that's driving cars that ain't they cars. You see what I'm saying? And then you look around and these people ain't got nothing. These people ain't happy. And look at it and you say, well, yeah, I am here, but the people that was already here ain't enjoying themselves. So what's going to be special about me that I'm gonna enjoy myself in this situation?
And can I add a layer to you, Native? and I said this on a podcast with Val and I like to always give people, if I can, an emotional connection, not just a cerebral connection to the issues. Just imagine for one moment, and I'm going to speak to something in a double format here, meaning or double issue. Number one, this is why it is the young people that get screwed up, children almost, because the reality is, just imagine you've been given this extreme beauty, you didn't ask for it, but you were born that way, or this extreme talent. You know, this is something that you already had, and all your adolescent life, you look up and you go, wow, look at those stars in the galaxy. That's amazing. And all of a sudden, you get invited into the galaxy. And when you get into the galaxy of stars, you start to realize, wait a minute, these are the people who I know are successful. They're all doing drugs. They're all, and this is me, this is not, you know, what I've seen in everybody, but the bottom line is, you get my point. I need to make this analogy.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, you're tense, but you're like, wait a minute, they've made it. This is so and so. These are first name people, and this is what they're doing. This is their behavior. So you begin to understand that, oh, this is what it is to be a star in this galaxy. But when you're AJ and you're Cynda and you're Val and you're Marla, and you've been through another whole process of life, and you're at a different level, they don't want us because I don't want you. I don't want this. I realize
Mm-hmm.
that my soul is in jeopardy. I cannot lose it. I cannot lose it because it's not worth it. At the end of the
And
day,
and can
no
I
amount
say
of money is going to recover that for me.
and
Yeah.
can I say this? Some of the things that I've witnessed and seen, not un, I can't get too detailed, but I will say this: the stuff that we've seen don't even touch how horrific and
It can
beastly
be.
and horrible that it can be.
That's
It,
right.
Absolutely.
you can't even fathom how horrible it is, and the things that happen to people, so much worse than what we've seen. So it comes down to listening to this thing right here, listening and
Yes.
recognizing, or having that one bad experience like I did, a really horrible experience at the very top, and saying, okay, that'll never happen again.
Right.
I saved myself then, and recognizing that fear, that or that knowledge or that instinct that, oh, this feels too much like that. I can't do that. I can't go down it. And might it mean that you're gonna have more of a long time to get to where you want to be? Yeah, probably. You won't get there like overnight.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll get there because the world is changing in a way that celebrity is dying, the systems are falling apart, and it is coming back to a heart and a love based life. We're leaving the cerebral and moving into the heart, and things are changing. Things are falling apart on purpose, and just be patient and take your time, because you don't have to go through those things. You just
Yeah,
don't.
I agree. And let me say this too, really quickly. Cynda, your spirit and like I'll be honest, you've been very, honest about things that you've, dealt with in the industry. You and I have had conversations, and um the fact that you have the type of spirit that you have, considering things that you've experienced in this industry, is amazing. When I hear AJ, when you and I talked in our interview, you were very transparent about something that happened with you. It wasn't necessarily that it what you shared in that moment was not about, trying to elevate and someone taking advantage of you. But people in this industry, I feel like they think that when they've reached a certain status or a certain thing that they can violate other people or they violate women just because they're women. And I know, look, I thought I wanted to be in show business, and very quickly I had one of those Marla moments where, Marla, I wasn't at the Uber celebrity party, but I was in spaces that made me know as soon as I came into the space that I was in danger.
Yep.
And so I left that space and I said, you know what? I'm obviously not built for this industry if I'm going to be compromised in the way that I was being or propositioned in the way that I was propositioned every time I entered the room. And then, it started to really impact my self-esteem, and I never felt really secure or safe. So the fact that there are women who have been in at the next level and having experienced those things and probably endured much more than what I have, that they can keep their spirit intact. I think that's important. I also want to say something about when Dennis was mentioning about people see these lawsuits come out and then they want to jump on the bandwagon. Just as everyone has said here, of course, there are going to be times when people are telling the truth and they're compensated for the pain they've gone through. There will be others that see that and want to jump on board because, oh, that looked like a money grab. I want to get in on that too. But there are other people who, because of their own fear, because of the things that they've already experienced, and because they knew if they had said anything before, they didn't know how that was going to come back on them. They'd already been violated. They'd already been attacked and threatened and what have you. And so now you see somebody had the bravery to come up and say something happened to them. Now that encourages me to feel more comfortable to tell my story as well. And it gives more validity to that person, and their story gave more validity to mine. And maybe now together we can make a difference. And that's the part that I get so frustrated when I hear people say, everybody's lying. Or why didn't you say something 30 years ago? And why are you saying something now? I mean, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And because I don't have the tangible proof to show you that it happened, I don't have a picture, I don't have a video, I don't have a baby gravy on a dress. I mean, I don't have anything like that to show, but I know that it happened and they know that it happened. I can't prove
There's
it.
also I'd like to also add that there's also another type of person that have probably had those same experiences that you just described, but they've probably already healed in their
Yeah.
own way,
And they
and they
want
probably they so there's no like somebody asked me about that moment that I talked about my violation. I'm like, yo, it wasn't about him. It was about how did he end up in my space?
mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what do I need to do to protect myself so I don't operate on such a low frequency so that I
Mm-hmm.
don't attract. It's not I'm not, and it's not
Yeah.
blaming myself. It's
Right.
not it's like, no, no, no. Yeah, it was wrong. He was a piece of crap. Yeah, and and when he died, everybody was mourning him on social media. Oh, R.I.P., R.I.P. I was like, ding dong, the witch is dead. Ding dong,
Bye.
bitch. Ding dong, bitch.
Right.
Bye bye.
I
I
meant it.
didn't cry a river at all, but because I had already forgiven, I had already moved forward, and I had already moved into a different space and brought myself to a higher frequency based on my relationship with God. And so, and I forgave myself for the behavior and the conduct that brought me to that place. It wasn't about blaming myself or taking responsibility. No, I was clear on whose responsibility it was, but I also had to look at my side of the street and go, you know what,
I don't
my
want to.
behavior attracted this type. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't clean your house, you're gonna get roaches.
Yep.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
it's
So
like
how do
what I
I
was
keep
saying.
myself from getting roaches? I
Right.
keep my house clean.
It was
You
like I
know?
said with that first experience. That was the experience.
Yeah.
Now, if it kept happening, then when does it become about my choices? When does it become about
Yes.
what I'm
Absolutely.
doing?
Absolutely.
Because I learned.
Yeah,
And the problem is the lesson isn't always learned. But I do want to say quickly, it is as many boys as girls.
that's right.
Mhm.
They just don't say anything.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
It's as many as in certain circles it might be more. but they never say anything. So we have to keep them in mind when we're talking about these things, because women are more vocal. We communicate more about it. But because of the culture, they don't say anything, these young men. And
Predators prey
yeah,
on vulnerable
And
people.
this is why they so many be
Period.
drinking, be taking the doing the drugs, and because it's like they just trying to anesthetize themselves from the drama or the
Right.
Right.
tragic
The
behavior,
pain.
just the toxicity of what they had to, so I used to always wonder why people were on the red carpet with sunglasses on.
Mhm, 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 mhm,
That's because they don't want you to see them. They
mhm,
don't want you to see what's really going on.
mhm.
And you're right. And because see, in the video, or I keep saying video, in the documentary, I kept wondering what happened with Kim Porter. I wanted somebody to come and say that. I wanted somebody to tell me what happened to Justin Bieber, what happened with Usher, what's Jodeci's story. And I know a whole lot of different pieces of those parts,
Mhm.
Mary J.
Mhm.
Blige and all of that, and what and who. And so they didn't tell you everything. And I admire people like Jaguar Wright. See, it's always the ones they call crazy I pay attention to.
hmm absolutely. Because I know, I know from my own experiences that when some of the things happen to me that happened to me, when I went to the people in charge and told them, when I went to certain family members that were supposed to protect me and told them, when I went to my best friend and told them, and they were like, "What'd you do?"
Uh-huh.
I knew I couldn't tell anybody else. If the people I trusted most in my life that were supposed to protect me said it was your fault, you made it happen, then how am I to believe that, you know, this officer of the law who could possibly be paid by somebody, maybe I might meet the nice guy, but my experience has shown back in those days showed me that I had to heal on my own, and I could not
Yeah.
depend on the justice system to protect me. I had to protect me. The
Mm.
men the men in my life that I love could not protect me. I had to protect me because they knew what happened to me and they did nothing.
Yeah.
And they asked me, and they blamed me instead. So since that was a horribly difficult but very necessary thing for me to learn, so that I could sit on panels like this with you, V, and talk to other people that have experienced things to maybe help protect my daughter and those like her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe so that my daughter has had her own experiences, but you know what? She ain't never experienced anything I have because she had me. That's evolution. I already had it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Mhm,
every child I talk to and every parent I talk to about these things, and I'm honest with them, those people are not experiencing these things.
mhm,
So
mhm.
while I hate that I had that, I take that and I make it empower me and to empower others. And we got to get to that point.
And
Yeah.
that's the reason that I say all the time, silent suffering is BS, because it's the silent suffering that if you're silent, you can guarantee that there's never going to be a resolution. You're not going to get help to a problem, but your suffering will not end. You don't end suffering by being silent. And
Mm.
I'm
Right.
also going to say this, and I said it when I was talking to Val. I also never want to promote that your speaking out has to be here. This is
Right.
this medium has come to all of our lives for different reasons, but
Right.
that means dealing with it first and foremost on the ground roots in your family.
Right.
And then what Cynda said, that,
Mhm.
me refusing, and this was a refusal, to ever do another episode of Love and Hip Hop had that core tenet in mind. I won't get into the details, but I said to myself, I know what the real issues are. I cannot go on another season
Mhm.
and be an example to my daughter. Sometimes money doesn't matter. It's not worth it. It's not worth what you're going to have to go through
All
in
money
these
ain't good
platforms
money.
that are full of exploitation. And I did leave this on the table. I'm done. And my comment was, fact on fact, your platform cannot house my heart or my voice. You worked hard to make America think I didn't love my daughter. The
Mhm.
boundaries and the love are and the discipline matter. And that's the point. And I'm not your fan, I'm your mom. So that's where we went. And I'm just saying that the example for me was not so much about the public as it was in my own house first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stand up and show you that even no matter what, because if no matter what we go through, we can get through it together. But it's bigger than money. It is so much bigger than
It's
money.
gotta be. It's gotta
It
be bigger
has to
than
be.
money. Yeah, you can't.
And at the end of the day, that doesn't mean I haven't made mistakes and all the things. And I told somebody the other day, I only know 2 people in my life that have not had a Me Too moment. 2. And so
Really?
and I'm not one of them. I am not one. So
I
I
was
would
gonna
like.
say
I
I
would
don't
like.
know
I would
nobody.
also. I would also like to go back to the whole Diddy aspect of things because when I think back and on all the years, right, all of the friendships that he made, all these big time celebrities and all these big time politicians that he became friends with,
Mm-hmm.
all I can think of is complicity. Really, complicity and
who's standing with this dude?
complicity and participation. and,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
and that is why we will never see any of the footage on all
Absolutely.
of the videos that he of the recordings that he has,
Absolutely.
because
Because they
it's
said
the
that
same
that
thing as the Epstein files.
And it's the
yes.
same thing as
We'll
R.
never see it
Kelly.
because there's too many powerful people that were part of his culture, of that culture.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
I'm talking about people that black folks worship, idolize, ooh, 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 they could never do no wrong. It's like, nah, those people are on there too,
Yeah.
because they're human as well. And
Yeah.
when you get to that level and you are in those circles and in those you have those associations, y'all all doing the same thing. Ain't nobody, because somebody like me, the oddball going it, they'd be like, oh no, she can't stay here. She can't be a part of this because she don't get down like we get down.
And that's the next
I
thing,
was kicked
AJ.
out of groups because of that. And friendships ended because, oh no, she ain't getting down like this. So you to the left, to the left. And I
That's
was
the
like,
next thing.
ooh.
There are things they know who you are. There are things they're not going to show me. There are things that aren't going to happen around me and my family.
Absolutely.
That's a
Absolutely.
fact. And
Right.
so I'm just saying, that's I learned that early. I'm like, oh,
And what
Let me
I'd like to
you
say
walk
to
in a
the young,
room and it's like,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, it's all good. I'm with you. I'm just bursting with people who have like understanding,
yeah.
because our goal right here on this panel is to be sure that people understand and they know the whole scope from the inside out, because I also want you to understand the heart of a victim, which is why I love where Cynda's going and where AJ's going, Native, all of us. And even to be honest, we'll call Dennis the antagonist, but in reality, that's where a lot of the fuckery hides. Not in him,
And here's what I'd
but
like to say too. Like when he was talking, it was, no disrespect, but it was like, yeah, of course you have to have that mindset because that's what you do for, like, you have to think
yes,
along those lines in order to be able to function within the confines of that industry or within that profession. You know what I mean? I get it. I understood where he was in that regard, but I just also would like to say before we end that if any young person is out there listening, if you know somebody that knows somebody that wants to get in this industry, because there's still millions of young people who think that we're full of shit and we're not really, it's not going to happen to me, or it ain't going to be that's not going to be my experience. Just trust your gut.
Yes.
Just trust your gut. If you
and
if it feels wrong, it probably is wrong. And be careful and understand it is that is what it is. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to decide on what it is you want, and you have to move in that direction and really have a strong foundation under you. Don't come into this thing being desperate.
Now
but
let me
Right.
AJ, that
let
that
me
that's you
Because if
that
you come
that
in
is
here being desperate, that's who they play
that's
and
the
pounce
problem right
upon.
there. Yeah,
that
for
that and
sure.
that is brilliant, and that is your constitution. But I'm gonna say, and here, how about this for something for people to think about as well? You have equal value. So let's look at it like this. AJ, I've known of you for a long time, but so you're talented, and Cindy, I don't know the others in that way, but I have to say that. But the point I'm making is this: you don't have a show without people who are talented. The industry has flip-flopped everything, and they make it seem like they're the only ones giving you the opportunity. They don't have shit without you. So there's
Right.
also equal value if you, and this is what I used to say, where's your standard? If you can hold the standard, then you can actually create a worth. Period.
I
You
love
have
that.
to have a standard for there to be an actual understood worth of value. Your standard creates the value. You have to be valuable because without you, they got nothing. Who's gone?
Nothing.
So go ahead, Warner Brothers. Who are you putting on the air? Nobody.
Now, let me
So
say
Correct.
this. One thing that comes to mind, then I want to close with a question that I want everybody to answer. But first and foremost, you brought up a good point, AJ, and when Dennis was here, I wanted to kind of talk about it too, because we talked about those houses and the things that happened, that the FBI was able to seize from Diddy's homes in Miami and California. The home in California, I believe, is the house where they said there were over 250 microphones and cameras throughout that entire house. When they went in and they confiscated everything, they confiscated tapes. You're correct. I just believe wholeheartedly that there are things and people that were doing things they were not supposed to be doing, or they've heard conversations that really made it clear that there are a lot of people who probably have a lot of power and influence who were included in some of these things, and that was also, I believe, a form of insurance that Diddy was keeping and had in place for himself, right?
Why do you think all the celebrities went quiet?
That's what I was going to say. So all the celebrities go quiet. Nobody says anything. No one's in support of him, really. No one's saying anything negatively about him. They just were quiet and mute, trying to wait to see what shoe was going to drop, possibly. I also think that had a lot to do with what they decided to even address in court, because now they got to pick and choose. What are we
And
going
that's
to get
and
him
that's
on
why
about?
and that's why I felt like Diddy and 50 are working together on opposite sides. The good cop, bad cop. Diddy don't care what you think of him. He's that much of a narcissist. He doesn't care if you let that in. There's not a whole lot of information that we didn't already know. And then when Lil Rod said what he said, no
Yeah,
one really. I mean,
yeah,
he didn't. They didn't let him testify because his story had holes in it, so they say or
sure,
whatever.
sure.
So I mean, just like what Native said, why would you believe him?
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, he just trying to get his money. Like people, he still, they would still make excuses and go, first of all, I don't understand why somebody, if you wake up with a sore ass, that you still hang around. I don't get that. I don't know. If I wake up with a sore
He said
anus,
he was sore. He didn't know
Wait,
how.
I,
hey,
I
What?
don't
wait,
I
you
don't
mean
care. I
hemorrhoid
don't care
sore
how much
or
money you owe me. If I wake up with a sore butthole,
Mouth.
chances are I gotta pack my bags and get the hell up out. I will go work at Starbucks and I'll play my music and
Mouth.
stuff. Like
Right.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm not gonna hang out. I'm not
not
gonna
from
hang
the Diddy
around.
bed to a barista? No.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't. I don't. So, but I mean, again, I I people do not understand like how high this game is played,
Can I
and go ahead, Native.
can I say something before you go to your closing question, V?
Mhm.
Cynda, I think you said something that opens up a bigger picture that I think needs to be addressed. But I think that the problem is that what you said needs to be addressed by men. When you said that the men in your life did not protect you, the men in your life blamed you,
Mm-mm.
I think that we have to address trash men at some point. But I think that the trash men conversation cannot be had by women. And the
No.
problem that we have is that men are not holding men accountable.
Accountable.
Mm,
Everything we're talking about right now,
mm.
everything we're talking about right now is because of narcissistic men,
And
whether it be on Diddy's level, whether it be the level above Diddy, or whether it be the level below Diddy. We are dealing with a society of narcissistic trash men who get a little bit of power, get a little bit of money, and they defend other men that are doing this, or they provide spaces for men to do these things, right? So I believe that, like, and I'm honored to be the only guy here, okay, amongst you beautiful talented ladies, okay. Thank you. But I believe that we have to, at some point, as men, stand up and say, no, this is wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And this is wrong. I do not believe that just because a man does something that I, as a man, got to jump to his side in order to say, nah, what was you wearing? Nah, what did you have on? Nah, what was you doing there at 3 o'clock in the morning? No, we got to address the idea of men that are doing these things and think that it's perfectly okay. There are so many examples in music, in entertainment, period, and in these athletes. Okay, we ain't even talking about these athletes and what they out here doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think that by us, kind of like women are fighting this battle that I think is unfair for women to fight. It is not fair for women to have to always address these trash men when there are men who need to address these trash men
I agree.
because they are trash.
I mean
Guys, I'm gonna come
that's
back for your closing
there's a lot
statement, Val.
there's a lot to unpack there, because that also has a lot to do with what Marla said about standards, and who's going to teach us what our standards are but another woman. So it's
Mm,
also our responsibility too to hold each
Hmm.
other accountable as well, so that we keep
Hmm.
our standards high, because what we accept will allow men to do what they do.
Right.
And I'm not saying that it's all on us or it's all on it's a two-parter
It
deal.
is. Hmm.
You guys have your lane, we have our lane, and we have to also stay in our lane, and and hold ourselves accountable, and like what Cynda said,
mhm,
raise our young ladies up in a way where they can be protected, or they can at least have the wisdom and have the information as to how to navigate through those waters.
Yeah.
And I think that's not happening enough either. We're
Hmm.
not holding each other up and accountable either. And so I
I'm gonna
think
mute
that
just for one second. I'll be right
needs
back. I'm taking care of my dad. I gotta go open the door for somebody to bring
okay,
some food. So
totally
I'll
okay.
be
fine.
right back.
So I think that's really what needs to happen as well. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
support each other, yes, empower each other, but also hold each
Hmm.
other accountable. Because I went to some really reliable sources where I had to, answer some tough questions from a wise woman that helped me through certain difficulties. And she was able to, like, be honest with me in love, respectfully, but yeah, we need to hold ourselves accountable as well, because what we allow will be done,
Mm,
you
Right.
know.
Right.
And I think we have to realize where the power lies within us too. And so we have to hold ourselves accountable, like I said.
I agree. Let me ask you this question before I get to the final question, but this is to you, AJ, in particular. You knew Tupac. We talked about, how you met him, and that you got a certain vibe from him that he was fun and smart and talented, and you got that feel from him. How did you feel watching? And mind you, what was shared in the documentary is not some newfound theory about what happened to Tupac or what happened to Biggie. But my question to you was, how did you feel when you heard the things that were being said about Diddy's possible feelings about Tupac, and what the energy was around Tupac, and what could have possibly have been the cause of his demise? How did you feel watching that? Just curious.
Nostalgic, number one, first and foremost, and I took a real deep breath,
Mm,
just kind of, and I smiled real big.
mhm,
And because I was just reminiscing over, the moments that I remember. And it wasn't just this documentary. I had always heard and learned
sure.
that Puffy was very jealous and envious of Pac. And
Yeah.
here's the thing, I can understand why,
Yeah. Yeah.
because the way he carried himself and the way he just reeked of like regal energy. He was very alpha male, very strong, and but also at the very same time, in the same energy, he also was very loving and kind and fun loving, and he smiled big all the time, and he just really knew how to draw you in. So I can believe that he was jealous of Pac in that way. But one thing that I will tell you that I was disappointed in Pac about is I felt like he just talked too much. You know what I mean? He let too much out. Like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And he was sharing his plan. And I was like, dude, you know better based on your family history and your legacy and your attachment to the movement to move in silence. So that was the thing that really that I wish that he had I wish he had taken that same principle into the music industry and just moved in silence more so, because he became a little bit more boisterous. But he was an actor, and I guess he felt like he had to be, outwardly demonstrative about the way he carried himself or whatever. But I mean, but by and large, I thought he was a beautiful, beautiful man,
Yeah.
and I can understand why Puffy, with his buck tooth skinny, self slurring his words, and you know he didn't have that same energy as Pac at all.
Gotcha.
And so he had to do what he had to do to try to become that, And I know he also auditioned or wanted to get the same role as Pac got in Juice or whatever. He wanted to
Oh
play
yeah, yeah.
Pac's role and all that stuff. So he was always trying to be, he's looking at it was like he's the nerdy dude in the, in school, and he wants to be with the cool kids. So, how do I get there? And so he just did what he thought he needed to do. So the best way I guess he did it was to get their girls,
Which is
you
crazy.
know.
Anyway.
The thing that really blew the thing that I was the most that I had never really heard from was the gigolo. Like, the gigolo for me was the new information, because I was like, oh, okay. I didn't okay. We had never heard it out loud. We'd heard the rumors and the baby oil stories, but when he told us, I was like, damn.
And
Okay.
to me, that's all I ever needed to hear with my experience. And again, my experience is very different, and different in the way that I grew up in the home with a professional athlete. I was born. My dad is a major league legend, so 40 years in the major leagues between playing and coaching. So what I saw as a girl, and what I knew, and when I thought to myself, even the narcissistic man, when you are paying another man to come and do you up, I was like, this dude is a shallow piece of shit, because when you might even do some side stuff, but when you have somebody that's your supposedly prize scenario, you not standing by and having somebody do her up, and the stuff that I mean, that would talk about a power trip. So to me,
But-
I was like, this dude is double trash. So
well,
because
but
right.
let's also be clear about something. There's another lawsuit that came out where Diddy is referred to as to his member is described as an itty bitty Diddy. Now that is in court records. That the lady said in court records and showed a picture and said that his member was the size of a Tootsie Roll, and they had a picture of it. I have the court record.
Okay. This is what I'm trying to say. And
I
again,
have the court records.
he had envy of prowess, and he had envy of
So he
team
has small dick
teaming.
energy, pretty much, is what you're
He
saying.
did, and evidently it was that had been proven. Now, the other thing is, I think there was some insecurity too, because he probably really wanted to be with those dudes, and this was the best way for him to experience it, because there were other things he was doing once the man was done with his woman, that he was doing using what was left over and what he wanted it on his body.
I'm saying that,
Person is a mess.
that's a sickness. It's bigger than all the things. So I don't know,
It
man.
also sounds ritualistic too.
So to answer your question, he did, or to comment on your speculation, he did want to be with the dudes. He wanted to be like them and wanted to be with them.
Maybe he thought if he consumed their
Yes.
liquids, he would grow one.
And he was with
A speculation. These are my own thoughts. No one can take them out of my head.
It's a good guess. I don't know.
Maybe I can drink it and it's like magic grow.
Did y'all hear? Y'all need to find Kim Porter's audiobook.
I haven't. Oh, audio. Well, I had. You mean
Did you,
autobiography?
Cynda,
Yeah,
did you say you have it?
I do. I do. I don't
Oh,
know if you think she wrote that? Well,
I
here, that's a
do.
whole nother thing. I did a story on that last year. I don't
I
know.
think
Only
she did it,
because
and I think they just squashed it really quickly. He had people, to squash it. Again, the protection. You know what I mean? And I think that he had it squashed and scrubbed, but somebody got it just in time to, yeah.
Put
and
it out.
It's
Hmm.
allegedly
it's
that
too it's too detailed. It's too detailed. It's too specific for not.
allegedly that is, the cause of her demise,
Mhm.
Yeah, her
allegedly.
Mhm.
unaliving.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
okay, so let me this is my last question to everyone. We talked about a lot of things, and it sounds like most of us, whether we can prove or disprove all of the things that were alleged in court or even the things that were mentioned in the documentary, I think most of us leave here thinking that this guy probably wasn't a good guy and that he obviously did some not so great things to people, artists, other executives he worked with, family members. I mean, there seemed to be a lot that this man has done, but we've also discussed the fact that there are powers in place that used Diddy at times that protected him. And my question to all of you is, what are some tangible actions that we can take to ensure that these types of scenarios don't continue? Is it, do we stop supporting folks as artists? Do we get out and protest more? I mean, obviously, we talked about educating our own kids, educating people who are trying to pursue the industry. What are some things that you and I can do so that we can contribute to a change as opposed to perpetuating what's already happening? And I'm
I
gonna
need to,
go ahead, Marla.
I have to go take care of my dad, so I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna mic drop.
Okay.
We are in a capitalistic society. That's where we live, whether you want it to be that way or not. The only way that anything that we see continues to be seen, even the birth of reality TV all the way around the block, as far back as Survivor, the issue is this: advertisements have to be paid. We must stop supporting. We must stop supporting what is not in alignment with what we want to see first and foremost as our community. And let me say this: we should all be opposed. We spend more money as black people, so in all superfluous things in this our community does that. We spend more money on ancillary items than any other
Mhm.
group.
Absolutely.
And so what I'm also saying to you is we are our own worst enemy. We
Yes.
If we don't want this, we drive culture. Let's
Yes.
stop supporting this BS. Don't buy it. So I'm not trying to be funny. I personally saw the first R. Kelly tape, and I
Yeah.
said, I'm done.
I saw it too.
I didn't the one that got dismissed. Exactly, AJ. Exactly. Native is shaking his head, Cynda shaking, everybody's shaking their head. I was done. So let me just say this to show you the example. Who were these parents who went to the
Mhm.
next concert and sat
Mhm.
on the front row and let him bring your daughter on stage and you never saw her again?
Yeah.
Who are
Yep.
you?
Yep.
I'm not going to that show. I'm not listening to your music.
Yeah.
I'm done. And
Yeah.
and just imagine if we could get 51%. That's just tips a majority. Of just say we're not doing this. I don't There's nothing that I want more than to balance this because we are the talent. And
That
we
part.
bring so much to the table musically, fashion, acting, comedy, all the things, everything that drives what we are. But we're
Yeah.
willing to continue to sacrifice
Mhm. Mhm.
our value by saying, I'm letting you create my standard. You don't get to create my standard.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And that's it. In the nutshell, stop buying what you don't want to see.
That part.
Cancel it. I don't want to start shit, but I'm done with Stephen A. Smith. When can we unplug his mic? Bye. Can you just kick the plug out? Dude, I'm sorry. I'm literally I don't even want to hear you speak. I want to stop it. I don't want you to die, but I'm not because I'm not about that for anybody. But what I'm saying is you don't represent anything that matters or value to me and my community. Stop supporting things against your interests. If someone is dogging women, they are not in your interest. If somebody is dogging black people, they are not here for your interests. I'm just telling you, stop.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Thank you, Marla.
Nice meeting you, Marla.
AJ, nice meeting you
Thank
too. I
you.
believe that we may have crossed paths way back before, but it doesn't matter. It's good to connect with you here.
Same.
Cynda,
Thank
you're
you.
amazing. Native, you owe me some music. Hey, Native, if there's a studio back there, there's no one in it.
Mm,
I'm just saying
mm.
that
I got you.
okay.
I got you.
We're gonna keep this musically platonic, but we can show that it can be done.
It have been
Anyway, thank you,
done.
Let's
Val. I
do it,
love you
Marla.
dearly.
Let's do it,
Um,
Marla.
this all good, Val. I got you on that tanning light. It's on its way.
Goodbye, girl. Bye. I hate you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay, Native, I'm gonna let you stay until last because I want to hear the male's perspective last. I'm gonna let Cynda. What are your final thoughts? What are some things we can do?
Well, I'm honestly in alignment with Marla's thoughts, but I go a little further than that. I don't engage. I mean, you know, if you had not asked me to do this, I would never have watched that. I just cut engagement. I don't engage with anything that's not in alignment with my spirit.
I know.
I don't. I did this because
I know.
of my love for you. Um, but you, what you think about, what you talk about, what you engage in is what elevates and what magnifies. So if you want to change what you see, look
Hmm.
at something else.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. 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 That's fair.
And that's in alignment with what Marla said. It's like stop buying it,
Yep.
stop engaging with it,
Yep.
and no, I mean, you have to be aware of what's going on in the world. I think, that's the only way to, you can't be ignorant. You got to protect yourself and those you love. And I love a whole lot of people that follow me. So I have to engage to a certain point.
Sure.
But like, for instance, the president, I don't talk about him. I'm talking about him right now. I don't talk about him on my platform because he don't get my attention.
Mm.
Negative, positive, he don't get my attention. I don't engage in that.
Mm.
Because if I'm putting any attention on him at all, that's building him up. He doesn't get it. So that's just how I do it. Everybody has their own way, but that's how I change my environment, my
Mm.
world, my frequency, my vibration is by only welcoming in what I want. And all the things that come in spite of that, that's because I need a lesson from it. I learned my lesson, I get it, and then that stuff is goodbye.
Mhm.
You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? That's just how I feel like if we collectively could stop engaging in the hate, if we could collectively stop hating and help, stop hating each other, stop tearing each other down. And I'm not talking about some wishy-washy, fake positive stuff. I'm not. That's toxic positivity and it's
Mhm.
BS. I'm talking about real engagement with those that are aligned with you so you can bring more into a positive alignment, not by pretending things aren't real, but by solving problems instead of rehashing them over and over and over again. Solve the problems, which I appreciate you for this last moment because I think that's what you're doing. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you. And look, what you said, I think it takes all types and everybody's correct in how they do it. I think you're right. Like, you sometimes you got to protect your spirit by not looking and engaging. Sometimes people don't realize they're engaging by just watching sometimes. And you've made that clear. Engagement looks a lot of different ways. Marla's saying don't support, maybe don't financially support this or that. And you're saying don't even look at it, don't speak on it. That sort of, and I think all of those things can be true and necessary. And everybody is going to be better at one than the other. So I appreciate that. Cynda, I love you so much. Tell people how they can find you, by the way. I should have asked Marlon Dennis that too.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok, Cynda Williams 615, and Instagram at Cynda Will. Those are all the other stuff, but those are the two main ones.
Yeah.
So come
Every
over.
day you have a motivational moment and stuff you do on TikTok, and
Mhm.
they're always so sweet and zen, okay? And we need that. We need that. Cinda is probably one of the most zen people I know. So thank you so much for
Thank
being
you for
here.
having me, and love to all of you.
Love
Thank
to you.
you. Mhm.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, AJ. Tell me what you want us to know. What you want us to
I don't really think I don't think I'm not really a pessimist at all, but same thing though. I changed my algorithm on Instagram on purpose because I didn't want to see what I was seeing, because I'm very protective of my subconscious, and I'm very protective of my spirit. So I purposely changed my Instagram to my algorithm so that I would see things that were in alignment with my spirit as well, and I only operate on a certain frequency with certain people that operate on the same frequency. And I don't mean to sound like I'm a tree hugger and all that stuff, but I just don't uh, engage in I just don't hang around with pigeons. I soar with eagles, and to be honest though, I don't think that our community is ever going to get it together.
mm,
I don't think we're ever going to unify because we are too broken and too fragmented. And I don't, we don't stand on anything anymore. It's just like what the brother was saying earlier, like how men used to protect and stand up against injustice and all of that. We don't have that anymore because so many people can be bought, and so many people can be swayed onto the to compromise. So I just really focus on being around people who are um, positive and productive and spiritually fit, and I try to keep myself in those circles, and again, I'm protective of what I watch, what I eat, who I engage with, who I talk to, what I let come in. But I don't really have faith in us like that, like I used to anymore. I don't believe that it's ever going to be the way it was, because we've gone too far out. So I think deconstruction has to happen.
mm,
Yeah, I think it has to be broken all the way down before it can be rebuilt.
mm.
And because our value systems aren't the same, and we don't honor each other the same. I can walk up and look when I'm on cruise ships, not just cruise ships. Where was I? I was somewhere the other day, and I saw a black woman, and I saw her purposely look the other way. Oh, I think I was in Target or something random like that. And I'm always willing to speak to, especially if I'm close up to you. And I was like, see, that's why we'll never ever be unified. Just in those moments. Black, same thing when I'm in the airport. I see people purposely look the other way, men and women, and I purposely look at you in the eye to say hello, but they don't do the same. And I go, yep, that's why. We don't have the same value system. We don't stand on code. We don't we don't move in the same direction anymore. Everybody is just we're just too scattered and too fragmented. But I will tell you, like, there are people that I do, gravitate towards, and they gravitate towards me, and we're able to, build from there. But I don't think as a unit, as a community, like other groups, we'll never be unified that way. I think we're just too far gone until we just totally deconstruct and rebuild. I don't like mean to sound negative, but I think that's the truth.
I respect what you're saying, and I understand why you're saying it. I hope you're wrong,
I'm
but
tired of us.
I get
You
it
know what I mean? It's
completely.
like it's
I get
it's
it
like
completely.
I'm sorry I don't want to take too much time much longer. I just want to say this last thing. With all the backbiting and the bickering I see between us about politics, we don't even understand what politics is. We don't even know how that game is being played. We as a unit, as a community, we don't know, like, one side against the other side. Both sides are being played.
Oh yeah.
They're both being played. So why are you allowing somebody who is outwardly and obviously historically playing you, why would you let that affect your relationship with your parents, with your mother, with your friends, with people that you know that love you, even though they may have a different perspective or a different opinion? Like that kind of stuff right there drives me nuts because I'm like, both sides are right and both sides are wrong in certain instances, because it's all theater. It's all theater. We talk about Diddy, but politics is the same way as the music industry. The music industry is the same way as the political arena. So it's all the same game, just with ugly actors.
Mm. Mm.
It's the same game. They're all playing the same manipulative game,
Mm.
and
can't disagree
until
with
we understand what it is, we'll never progress.
I agree. I agree. AJ, thank you so much. I'm so
Thank you.
happy I was able to drag you back over here.
Me
I've been
too.
trying.
Me too.
I've been
This is a nice little short window we had, so I appreciate it.
No, I really appreciate you. So where will you be next and how can people reach out to you?
Um, the stand up girl on Instagram, like I had posted earlier, and that's it really, because I'm all over the place.
That's
I'm just,
right. I know.
I'll be in the Caribbean the next 10 days. So
You will? Oh, so you're gonna miss Christmas? You'll be Christmas on ships?
I'll be, yeah,
Okay.
I'll be in the DR.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's not a bad place to be.
No,
Christmas on a cruise ship is not bad. I've had to do more than I wanted to, but every time it was beautiful and wonderful. So,
I'm grateful for it. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice
Well,
meeting you, Native.
Nice to meet you too. You're great. Okay,
Yeah,
you're
too.
absolutely great.
And I love
Maybe
the theme song, and I'd like to stay in touch with you as well, because I'm a musical person as well. So it would be of my honor to
yes.
have a theme song at some point.
okay, all right.
I gotta have something to have a theme song for, though. But
listen. I'm not Pac, but I do have some charisma. Okay, I do.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
little.
yeah.
I know I picked up what you was put down.
You feel me? You feel
I
me?
ain't trying to
Okay.
step on Marla's toes, though. I'm not trying. You know what I mean? So
Oh my God. Well, thank you again,
such a
AJ. And I
pleasure.
hope to
Thank
see you again. And if I don't talk to you before, have a Merry Christmas, Happy
you as
New
well.
Year, and see
Thank
you
you.
soon. All right. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Native Tribe Urban Media. What say you? Let me see. There we go. What you think about all that we've discussed today?
First of all, how you gonna have me go last when we talk all the time?
Well, because I
We
want
get
because you're the
all
only
the
man
time.
left on the platform, and all these women had a lot to say, including myself. And I just, Dennis is gone, and I just think that a man, a man's voice is going to be important because let's say this something that you said earlier about men have to be the ones to speak up because everything we were talking about has to do with men having power over women and over other men.
Right,
So
exactly.
I think that's why it's important to hear this male perspective. I hate that Derrick couldn't make it. I hate that Dennis had to leave early. But discord is not always a bad thing. I think in fact it's necessary for conflict is necessary in order for us to get progress, okay?
Right,
Because
right,
nobody is completely right all the time,
right,
and everybody isn't wrong. Any one person isn't wrong all of the time. You know what I'm saying? So we can learn from both sides and try to figure out the best situation. But some people don't like to have these types of discussions, and unfortunately, we don't hear a lot of men speaking up against what the things that we're discussing. So this
listen,
isn't about me and you talking. This is about
I'm
people
just saying.
hearing a man
I'm
say
just saying.
what a man should be saying.
I'm just saying. Let me just start out by saying, um, first of all, V Lenore, great job. Okay, all right. You deserve all your flowers right now. Great job with this whole thing, putting it together. You did great. Okay, all right. Let me just say that. Second of all, let me just say, I'm glad I'm up last. Okay, I'm glad I'm the last person up here because I got a lot of shit to say. All
Okay,
right.
say it.
Um, I really don't, y'all. I really don't. Listen, listen. No, I think that it's a couple things. If I can just summarize the whole thing, right? You are going to have those people like when you look at all the heinous shit that Donald Trump has done, you still have a percentage of the population that likes him, that thinks he's great, that thinks that he does no wrong. There will always be detractors that are on the other side. However, what happens in Black communities and with Black people is that when we have detractors against the people that are predatory against us, it is more dangerous. It is more dangerous for Black people to be out here capping for R. Kelly and for P. Diddy and for Bill Cosby than it is for white people to cap for Donald Trump. It's way more dangerous because we are a closer knit community and we are a smaller community. So we cannot afford to lose the same amount of chickens because our chicken coops are not that big. Right. So when the wolves come in, we need to be more vigilant against those wolves because we are more vulnerable. Right.
That's
We when you think about it, okay, when you think about it, we don't have the same protections under the law, right? We have a very justified um, mistrust of the police, right? Very justified. So if you are in a position with a Diddy, and you also are in a position where your daddy was unfairly locked up or your brother was shot by the police, but you in this position with a Diddy, now you find yourself between a rock and a hard place because now you also have the trauma behind what happened to you, but also the trauma behind trusting the police to do something about it.
Yeah.
So we have to be more vigilant than they do as Black people when it comes to these people that are preying on us. And again, it's one of those situations where we talk about Nesto, right? Where they talk about, oh, they're trying to bring a brother down. They just want to hurt a brother. Well, guess what? These Black people are preying on other Black people. They are the ones that are trying to bring us down.
Yeah.
So I think that the discussion is indeed a good use of time, first of all. And also it's necessary, again, like you said, because we as men, and I'm gonna stand by this and I stand on this, that we as men, we are the ones that have to step up because every time I hear this conversation, it's women talking about it. And the men are the ones that are making the excuses. And that to me is sickening because guess what? I grew up with a dad that didn't do this shit. I grew up with a dad that was not abusive. I grew up with a dad that took care of the household, right? That paid the bills, that made sure that we had everything that we needed for shoes and clothes and all this other stuff, and made sure that we had food. That's the protector that was my role model, right? That's how Native got to be who Native is, because that's what I looked at every day. But I also understand that I was fortunate in that way, and that some of the people that I've been around, some of the brothers that I've grown to love as brothers, right, didn't have that. They didn't have that. They didn't have that example. They didn't have that. So what is my responsibility at that point? It's not to raise them, but it is to guide them. You see what I'm saying? I cannot raise a man that is already grown. However, if I see my brother doing something that ain't right, I can take the responsibility to say, that's not right. What you are doing is wrong. Now, does that mean that they're going to stop doing it? Could be not. But I have to step up and say, man to man, bro, that's not the way to go. That's not what we need to do. So to answer your question as far as what we can do to change the tide in this, that's exactly what we can do. Iron sharpens iron, right? Iron sharpens iron. We need to let go of this embrace that we have on ignorance. We talk about Nesto, and now we got this Cecil dude, and we talk about the way that they speak, and we talk about all this stuff. Don't get it fucked up. Nesto had the opportunity to read a book. Nesto had the opportunity to go to school and actually learn something, and other than hustling people out of their money, right? We got to take education serious. We have to take bettering ourselves serious. We have to do all those things, but we cannot do those things when the voices are at the bottom of the well. The voices have to come up. and the voices have to be louder than those people that are the detractors.
Mm.
That's why I don't mind saying what I say, because what you gonna do to me?
Let me
Ain't
ask,
nothing. Ain't nothing I ain't seen yet.
let me ask you this though. Obviously Diddy has his own supporters and whatnot,
Mhm.
right? And I get it. Hey Nylah. Hey, do you want to stop? You want to say something? Anything? You want to come up? Here, I'll put the link in here in case you're
Dollar, you need to
no.
come up because we need to talk about this little ignorant shit. We gotta discuss this. We gotta have a discussion about this because this don't make no damn sense. You got these people out here calling me low ignorant, Nyla, and I need an appeal. Okay, I'm just saying. I need an appeal. I'm just saying.
um so what I was going to say is, Diddy has his supporters, and I have trouble, for instance, and I've mentioned this, and again, I'm not going to mention the person's name. I would not even acknowledge much about how I know the person, but what I'm
Hmm.
saying is I know that he knows him well, right?
Hmm.
And he's closely tied to the family. But I
Hmm.
also know that he's fully aware of all of the many of the evil things that we've heard. And the reason why I know that he's aware of it, because he told me these things
Hmm.
many years ago, and how Diddy had done him wrong. Okay. And yet now, I mean, they're still in connection with one another, and the like.
Hmm.
My problem is, how do you support someone who you know? Do you think it's fear? Because here's the thing. Do I think that men should stand up? Sure. Would I like to believe that a man can possibly stand up to things in a way that maybe I'm not even able to? I'd like to believe that. But the truth is, men are human too, and men have fears themselves. And I think that a lot of the people that do support him, that know him personally, that's what I'm talking
Hmm.
about, that
Hmm.
they are doing so out of fear. So, what do you think about that? Like, do you think that, and maybe it's not just fear that something's going to happen to me, maybe it's fear of I may lose out on the things that I've had access to in the past if I call this man out on the things I know he's outright doing that's wrong. Like, what do you think about that?
I think that you can set yourself up for failure in a bunch of different ways, right? You
Mhm.
can set yourself up for failure by being going into a situation unarmed, right? You walking
Mhm.
into a room full of armed people and you unarmed, and then you trying to have the same conversation with the armed person. No, they have the advantage. So what you have to do is you got to either arm yourself the same way that they're armed, or don't go into that room at all. And I say that because if I'm out here making my little living, right? And I'm out here doing my little thing. And I don't need your money. I don't need your respect. And I don't need your power. Then there is nothing that you can do to me because I don't need you. And I think that when people are so money hungry and so wanting the fame and the fortune, and so I'm gonna miss out. What you gonna miss out on? You wasn't born on a plane. You wasn't born in a studio. You wasn't born and all that. So what exactly is it that you are afraid that you are going to miss out on? You know what I mean? But when you walk into that room and your eyes get so big, you think they don't see your eyes getting that big?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
every
yeah,
time
yeah,
they
yeah,
see
yeah.
your eyes getting that big, guess what they doing? They plotting on you.
Yeah,
They plotting on you. We got this motherfucker here. Uh-huh. We
yeah.
got where that baby all at. Take that, take that, take that.
I can't with you. All right.
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
Oh,
That's
see, that's why you low ignorant. Anyway,
that's
y'all,
why low ignorant.
welcome to the stage. The one and only Nylah says,
Thank
welcome.
you.
First and foremost, I want you to know that Native has really been catching hell because you have titled him properly and he has a problem with it. And I don't know why. I don't know why he's concerned about the truth that has been told. But
I think he wants to address you. So
I do. I want to file an appeal. Okay, I want to file an appeal. I am not low ignorant. Okay, I want an appeal on your decision, Judge Nylah, Girl La La, Nylah La La, or whatever the hell is happening over there. Okay, I want an appeal. This low ignorant shit. These motherfuckers is calling me low ignorant now every time I do something.
Look,
And
the people have spoken. The people have spoken, honey. You low ignorant, and that's just what it is, man.
damn,
That's just what it is, bruh.
damn,
Okay. But
damn.
here's the thing. You might as well embrace the terminology because you absolutely have walked the walk. You have talked the talk. Okay. You have walked very low and very ignorant. You have spoke very low and very ignorant. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I mean, it's okay though, baby, because you know what? You in good company. They tell me I'm low ignorant too.
no, you said you high ignorant.
But you know what? You're right. I have been mistakenly called low ignorant a time or two, right? But
Listen,
I
I'm
am definitely
moderately ignorant.
can I now
you
listen
are
now?
moderately.
Let me just tell you this, Nala. Okay, let me just say this. Okay,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
watched I
I
watched
mean, yes,
Taz. I watched Taz do his thing for I don't know 100 nights or what was it 108 Arabian Nights? Okay, whatever that.
Honey,
Well,
you're
I
crazy.
watched it. Right, I watched it. Okay, now I feel like if you will not hear my appeal, maybe I can bring my appeal to Taz. I'm just saying because it was a lot of ignorant shit happening over there too. Okay,
bruh. Why do you think I know what low ignorant is? You think that nigga is low ignorant too? You'll fuck up and get a co-host out of him. Y'all would be two low ignorant Negroes. Like for real. Anybody that could find 40 different ways to talk about that ugly ass nigga, okay? In a very because you really think about it, like he ain't just dragging, okay? The drags be intellectual and comical, right? You
right.
gotta be low ignorant to do that.
Wait a minute, Nylah. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Was it yesterday? Was it yesterday we was talking native?
Yeah,
Because the night before that, you and Taz were having this whole conversation about whether or not this shit was gonna continue. And that
Yeah.
conversation in and of itself was hilarious as hell. Okay. Because you were over there talking about, well, how you know? Because he was saying like, maybe no. I think you said, well, just go out with a bang, and then isn't that
right.
what you said? Something like that.
Yeah, because once he's the baby mamas that made documentaries about like, baby, we need to see that. What you mean? I mean, yeah, don't be soft showing, baby. Do it.
So
Do
he
it.
said, yeah, he said, well, sometimes when you want to go out with a bang, it doesn't really turn out like that, and then you got to keep going, and it entices you to want to do more, and you said, well, how do you know if you don't try? I was like, they are a mess. Okay, how do you know?
That was high ignorant. Okay, that was some high ignorance right there, and I'm gonna apologize for being high ignorant. But I really want him to, I want him to finish him. I want him to finish him.
A native let Nylah hear uh, uh, your Taz impersonation.
Look, fam, you can't come out here and just be messy, Michael, and come at the goat, fam. It just ain't gonna work. It just ain't gonna work, fam. I'm just saying, like, you out here in the dress, fam. Come on, fam. Come on, fam. It ain't gonna work, fam. It ain't gonna work. This the goat. You gonna come at the goat, and you out here dressed like messy, Michael. Come on, fam.
You got it. You got it.
Come
Now,
on, fam.
that's low ignorant. That's low ignorant. That
You
is so
can't,
low ignorant.
fam. Look, fam. I could do this all day, fam. I'm telling you.
Girl, this man in his
Where
impersonation.
is Taz at? That don't make no sense.
Where is he at?
Let me see. Where is he at? Hold on. I'm gonna call him. He is.
Fam, I tried to let it go, fam. Look. My wife told me just to let it go, fam, and I'm just You know, I'm just like, it ain't even worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
I got you on speaker, and you should come in here because Native is in here giving his best Taz impression. It's so
look, fam,
okay.
look, fam, I got 40 days and 40 nights to roast you, fam. Old bitch ass, fat ass nigga. They
Yes.
want me to keep roasting your bitch ass, but I'm like, is it really worth it, fam? I got other content to do. You know what I'm saying? My wife telling me to do other content and shit. Man, fuck this nigga, fam. You know, and again, fam. You know what, fam? You know what? I might just keep going, fam, because you know, you came at the goat, fam. You came at the goat.
Wait, he just walked in the room. Keep going, Native. Give me a little bit more.
Look, fam, I'm gonna talk about this bitch ass nigga for another 10, 15 days, fam. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, fam? I'm about to get down on this nigga, man. Fuck this nigga, old bitch ass, cross-eyed fat ass nigga. That's why you play Biggie Smalls, old fat ass cross-eyed nigga. That's the only role they could give you for a cross-eyed old bitch ass fat ass nigga.
Man, every time he Taz say cross-eyed bitch, I just
This cross-eyed bitch. Bitch, I'm the goat, bitch. I'm the goat. What you gonna do with me, bitch? You want my address, huh? Give me a bag. I'll give you my address.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was my line right there. That was my line right there. That was my line. That was my line. Give me the bag, Tim. I'll give you my address. Give me the bag.
Give me the bag. Anywho, but Nylah, I don't know how much you were. Huh? What'd you say?
Oh no, I literally just got off of Tasha's. I was like, let me see if she's still alive, and y'all are still alive.
Yeah, no, we were about to end, but I was
Okay.
and I got into a conversation about men standing up and talking against men where this type of stuff is concerned, but most specifically when you've got a man of this level of power who, again, like we've talked about so much over this last couple of hours about, you know, the fact that there were powers to be that were protecting him and even using Diddy to do their bidding, and they've released some of that protection from around him. And a lot of what we were talking about too was about powerful men violating other people, whether it was mostly women, but men as well, right? And we're not just talking about, you know, physically violating them, but mentally, financially, everything. And you know, I was asking everyone too, like what they felt about how do you support a person. And this is just my personal question. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around how, even if you don't believe he did a lot of the things that he was accused of in court, let's say we know he wasn't found guilty of a lot of those things, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. But okay, fine. Right. But we do know some things he did do. Like, if nothing else, we saw how he treated Cassie in that video. Okay. Now, was he on trial for that? No. But a low down, dirty, grimy, evil person functions in that way. And I just don't know how to support that type of person, even though, you know, maybe they're supporting him because of financial gain or access to a party, or maybe they feel like their careers will be in jeopardy if they don't support him. I outside of that, I just don't know how you do it, because my spirit wouldn't be settled if I'm supporting someone that I know is outright evil. I'm not going to be out here defending them. So what do you think about that?
I believe that, like, for instance, and I might be talking about this tonight, like people like Umar who are saying that you shouldn't black people need to stop telling on each other. These are and y'all cuss over here, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Oh yes, because we got this little ignorant nigga over here. Of course we do. These are niggas that want to be able to do the same shit, or in the very least want to be able to be inconspicuous in their dereliction. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at, like, just think about the men that are defending them.
Right.
You don't, no good man is defending that. No man that honors his mother, his wife, his daughter, or himself is defending Diddy. And they'll say, you know, it's not about a defense and all this kind of stuff. But yes, it is. Because how is it that we are supposed to be protecting predators just because they're black?
Right.
Yeah.
I hate, you
Because
know
we're
what
black.
I hate when people say, "Well, y'all doing all this for against R. Kelly, or you're doing all this about Diddy, but they let Harvey Weinstein get away with this, or they let Jeffrey
No, they
Epstein."
did.
And I don't give a fuck if they did or didn't. It doesn't take away that this is wrong. And this is the man that
And
I'm
then
more
but they
afraid of
didn't
because he's
though.
in closer proximity to me and my people. So I'm going to have a
Right.
problem when my people are doing this shit to my people. Period.
Right.
But I'm sorry.
Right. And that's the thing about it is like they do get at them niggas. Who is that, babe? Sandusky, disgraced. Right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, for
Larry
sure,
Nasser,
for sure.
disgraced.
Right.
Harvey Weinstein, disgraced.
Mhm.
Danny Masterson, disgrace. Nobody, the only community that you see of people actually making excuses for convicted fucking pedophiles, rapists, sex offenders are black people. And I'm not saying that the white people or whatever don't have support, right?
Mhm.
It's just undercover. They got sense enough to not go on Front Street and say, yeah, that's fucked up what they did. They're, you know, they're just trying to take a man down. You ain't gonna see other communities sticking their neck out there for no Harvey and no Jeff. But black people, oh, free R. Kelly.
Yes.
Who does that? It's
Yes.
Yeah.
disgusting and it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
embarrassing.
No,
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely true. I think that the only way that you could find R. Kelly appealing, P. Diddy appealing, is if you want to be R. Kelly and P. Diddy.
Yeah. Pretty much.
If you want to be able to get away with the same shit that they doing, then yeah, oh, well, free them because I might need to be freed next. You know what I'm saying? That's
Niggas
the
look at Diddy, they look at Diddy and think about and see the shit that he was able to do beating that girl's ass like that, and they see they motherfucking daddy. They see their
Mhm.
motherfucking grandpa and they
Yep.
see themselves. And that's why they don't want them held accountable. I don't care what
Yep.
nobody say.
I
Your
agree.
Yep.
daddy was whooping your mama's ass. That's
Yep.
why it don't bother you that you saw him whooping her ass. And then
Exactly.
there's a flip side because I just saw I was scrolling YouTube shorts yesterday. And there's this girl. She was, I mean, she was on Cassie's ass and she's evil and she's this and she's that and people are saying that she was groomed but she knew what she was doing and she's not the first domestic violence sufferer. We got to come to grips too as women with being honest about the fact that some of these bitches do not like to see an attractive woman be a victim publicly.
Mm.
They will never, they are always the
Mm.
villain. You know, it's almost like this one lady I was listening to. I feel like it was almost like she was happy to see something bad happen to her. Well, that's what you get for thinking that you're this. And I don't like Cassie. I'm not no Cassie fan. I can't even tell you what Cassie ever
Me
said
either.
or
Me either.
sung, right?
Me either.
But just as a woman, you know, and then with black, it's the racial thing. Oh, well, she wasn't black, so it's not my problem. If he would mollywop her up and down the hallway, what do you think he'll do to your black ass?
That part.
And from like, you know, so how does your principle change because she not black?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, you know, that was, I just didn't understand.
You know, they
Well,
talked about, I've heard multiple people. Oh, I'm sorry, was that Taz or no?
That
Oh,
was Native.
yeah,
okay.
that was me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Native. Let me
Because
see.
Native be around here doing his Taz impersonation. Don't nobody,
Oh,
like,
no.
that don't even make no sense.
Right. No, what
Taz
else
is
was
here being quiet, and Native is being low ignorant.
But I heard people talking about some party. I think it was Dawn. Yeah, it was Dawn Richard mentioned a time when there was a big party going on. What's his name? Levine. What's his name?
Jimmy,
Jimmy
Jimmy, Jimmy,
Levine was in the
You know what I mean?
room. Other
Jimmy, I mean,
or I
Jimmy, I mean, yeah.
that guy. So they said he was in the room. Other execs were in the room, and something happened. And Diddy literally beat Cassie in front of the whole party. Everybody just turned around. Nobody, including the
the bodyguards and stuff. And that's the other thing. Security bothers me too, because I'm hearing, security folks come out here. They used to work for Diddy, like
Mhm.
Roger Bonds, like Gene Deal. While I appreciate them coming out and telling us things that they witnessed, I still am concerned about the fact that you would work for a person knowing that shit is happening. I heard Roger Bond say, "Yeah, I didn't see Diddy beat on Kim, but I know they were in the room. I heard shit going down, and I know that she came out, disheveled and what have you. So he knew something was happening. But you didn't go in there, or you've watched him beat on other women and you didn't stop it. And I understand he pays your check, but he's beating a woman. Like,
Mhm.
how is that okay? And why am I
Baby,
okay with you coming out here talking about it, and I'm supposed to be okay with you, even though you let it happen?
But Villanova,
baby, they the same.
think about what happened in episode 1 of the documentary. Eric Sermon said that Diddy came out there and was trying to beat on Misa, and
Yep,
it's like, and Eric Sermon still found it appropriate to go around the corner and listen to some damn Diddy music. You see what I'm
that's
saying?
true. He
Like what the fuck,
That's true.
nigga?
He said, "Oh, let's go around the corner." Like he was
What
ready to, get it popping. And when he got
what,
over there, Diddy was like, "Hey, I got this music I want you to play." Well, you still
what
didn't
is
beat
that?
his ass. Diddy didn't want to fight you, and you didn't beat his ass. So make it make
What is
sense.
that? You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying? That's the type of chicken shit behavior that we as black men got to get out of. We got to stop with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because now Eric Sermon is trying to be like, yeah, I mean, I'm respectful. That's the reason why I didn't want to do it right here. I wanted to go around the corner. Man, fuck your respect. Because see, a disrespectful motherfucker ain't finna get my respect around the corner. A
right,
disrespectful motherfucker gonna get my disrespect right here. And
right,
that's what
right,
and so that whole story just was like, what the fuck is wrong with these niggas? You know what I'm saying? Like that shit
Right.
is
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, also, I think it is necessary, since you brought up the King Kong of consciousness, Native. Do you mind introducing Nylah to the King Kong of consciousness?
black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I am the prince of panhandling, the prince of pancakes, prince of the prince of pasta, the prince of pandas, black queens forever, snow bunnies never. Black queens
Don't,
forever, snow bunnies never. Black queens forever,
Three
snow
times.
bunnies never. I am trying to open up the Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, Simone Williams, Marla Gibbs, Red Fox,
Marla Gibbs.
Richard Pryor, School for Black Children. And I need for you to donate, brothers and sisters. I need for you to donate today. I
you
need the
lost your
money right
appeal.
now.
You
I am
lost
the
your
prince
appeal.
of panhandling. I am the prince of pasta. I am the prince of pancakes. I am the prince of pancakes. You need to help me out, brothers. Otherwise, I'm going to put you on that list. I'm going to put you on that list. I'm going to do it if you don't give me money. Now, ladies, if you want to give me money and some ass, I will take either one.
Wow.
I will take either one. Because
You
I'm also
forgot
the
the
prince
Prince of
of
Pan Pizza.
I'm the prince of pizza, the prince of prostates. I am the King Kong consciousness. There is no other sought after black intellectual other than me, Dr. Umar Johnson.
And you wanted me to run back the appeal of the you wanted to appeal being
Yeah,
called low ignorant.
I
yeah.
feel like I feel like Villanova is working against me. Okay,
No, I just wanted her to have all the facts.
because
I wanted her to have all the
because I
facts.
was keeping all of this to myself. Okay, and
Lord,
Villanova is
This is what I deal with on a regular. I just want you
somebody put Dre's run over Crocs in timeout. Okay, the
to.
Marcus Garvey Sonia Durham Wallace School of Low
of
Ignorance.
the George Jefferson, Marla Gibbs, Fred Fox, Lamont Sanford School for Black Children. I am trying to raise the money right now by panhandling. My accounts got frozen. My accounts got frozen. My accounts got frozen.
Tell her about that
I'm
date.
good.
You know, what was that thing
I'm
he was asking people to pay
Ladies,
for
if
a
you
date?
want to go out with the King Kong of consciousness, I have an opportunity for you. All you have to do is donate $500 to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Red Fox Lamont Sanford School for the Children.
Mhm.
Donate $500 and the King Kong of consciousness will take you out on a date. And you don't have to pay for anything. I will pay for everything. All I need for you to do first is download $500, sisters. Don't all do it at the same time. Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never. Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never. Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never. I just need for you to donate $500 and I will take you anywhere, any fast food restaurant that you want free of charge. You don't have to worry about paying for anything. You want extra cheese, sister? You want extra cheese, sister?
Why do
You
he
want
sound
extra
like
cheese,
him?
sister? Then
Why does
I
he
am more
repeat
than
everything
happy
like
to
that?
put extra cheese on your burger for you, my black queen. Where my Las Vegas queens at? Where my San Francisco queens at? Where my queens at? Where my
Please,
Miami queens at?
Queens.
Oh, God damn.
So that's
That's
what I
what
deal
you
with.
do. Man, that's exactly what he'd do. Just out the blue, just start naming cities.
That nigga be like, where my New Mexico queens at? Where my Bronx queens at? Where my St. Louis queens at? Where my North Dakota queens at? Nigga.
No, don't. You know what I like what he be doing? Where are my European Africans at? My British Columbia Africans. Like what? My German Africans. What? Yo, German Africans, nigga.
I'm
Why
going to
is
be visiting Botswana. Botswana, Dr. Umar Johnson is coming to you on March the 18th. March the 18th, be on the lookout for Dr. Umar Johnson. I will be there, and I want you all to know that I am the most sought after black intellectual. All these struggle streamers out here on the internet ain't got nothing on Dr. Umar Johnson. I am the prince of panhandling, the prince of pancakes, the prince of prostates. I am all of that in a bag of chips. Black chips, of course. All I need is $500, ladies, and I will make sure that I pay for all your food on our date. Okay, brothers, this ain't for you. Brothers, I'm gonna do something a little bit more gangster for you, but this ain't for you right now, brothers.
Mhm.
That's Dr. Umar Johnson.
Gotcha.
You
Thank
know
you.
what? Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
Did that. Did that.
But I feel like Villanor is working against me because everything she's
No,
asking me to do is keeping me on the low ignorant list. I'm
look,
just saying
it
that.
is my job to hold everybody accountable and to present all of the facts.
Okay.
That is my
All
job. And I
right.
I, I don't want her to make a judgment without having all of the facts. And
Yeah,
I think
you
that
lost that
you,
appeal.
yeah, I think of course he did. But he didn't want to accept the truth. So I
Right.
told him he was low ignorant. I said
Right.
this is a perfect description. So
It
there you
Mhm.
really is. Like you will never like, and
Mm.
then he gonna do an impression of you being low ignorant to prove that he's not low ignorant.
not an impression of Taz being low ignorant. Nuh-uh.
Right.
No, it wasn't. That was Taz wasn't being low ignorant in that
I
moment.
didn't find it low ignorant. I didn't find it low ignorant at
Wasn't
all. Actually,
low ignorant at all, if you ask
you
me.
know,
Oh,
actually,
yeah.
I would describe it as brilliant. Honestly, I
You're
mean,
right.
shit.
Right.
It's
Taz.
Man.
So Taz, are you really done?
Um, I popped in yesterday to see if I could come up with a reason to do it and say anything, but there's just nothing was. I was just sitting there for like a half hour, listening to like the most boring shit ever. And it's like, I mean, I just don't have a reason. I mean, I
Look
just
at
don't.
Nyla's face. She's so disappointed.
I mean, it's
Highly disappointed.
content wise that I do would rather do. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of why I said, all right, I'm gonna just fall back for a minute on that because it's not really what I want to do as content. It's fun, but
But like, okay.
I mean, I heard his point and all, and I get it, but he was doing the work for the people. He was doing God's work, and I just don't. I don't know. It was a service to
You
our.
know what though? I don't think Dana J was ready. I don't think that orangutan face fuck boy was ready because he's used to being able to just go because he says he's willing to lie about anything. He's
Mhm.
willing to say do the most. He don't have no shame or whatever.
Mhm.
But he don't even know. Like I really feel like that those last 10 days them usually be the worst. Them the worst days. You know what I'm saying? Which is why Taz I probably spoke too soon. And
Mm.
you like, yeah, you don't listen to me. When you gonna
So
start
Nylah, you're the
now we
reason why that he was talking about stopping. You really?
yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
I am, but like I was wrong.
Oh. Well, no, you weren't wrong. You weren't wrong. I didn't realize that because I caught the tail end when y'all were talking. You were like, "Well, how will you know if you don't try?" I was like, "You crazy as hell." Y'all sound so serious and cute. It was funny as hell to me.
Man.
Taz
Man,
said Taz said women see you having fun and they try to come in and stop your fun. I was like,
I feel
damn.
like that's what I did.
Oh well, look. How many days are left in this month? How many more days were left? 10?
No, it was up to the 31st. Like the timing was perfect. I started on like the 22nd. So
Oh,
that I said it in the first place. It was like, nigga, I'm talking about you every day for the rest of
you did say that. You did it too.
the
I thought
day.
when you first said it was a joke until every day it was scheduled. I was like, oh God. There were premieres, there were lives.
It was good. It was good. But I do think that like the documentary,
Mm.
we need that.
Yeah, nah, I meant that shit. I mean, that's what I say. I hope he goes away and, thinks about the things he's saying before he's saying them because I don't have to put a limitation on it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully it just talk about it. So I do know more people on social media like bullshit.
Hmm.
That's
That's
just the
true.
reality. I literally grow a channel doing that bullshit every day. I
Yeah.
just know I have more intellectually to offer, so I'm trying
Absolutely.
to do, but don't play with me though. That's
Absolutely.
all
I
I can
got
say.
you. I
Round
got
and find out.
Hey Taz, since you're there, just curious, do you have any comments about the Diddy documentary? It'd be nice to hear. But we had Dennis on earlier, he couldn't stay, and then we had Native. But I'd love to hear another man's perspective on what you saw in the documentary, how you feel about him and other people, their support of him.
So I think I'm on like probably the other side of it. I thought that the documentary fell short. I thought that a lot of what we had already heard and seen was put into the documentary as opposed to some of the things that haven't been discussed.
Mm.
And there are a lot of things that could have been put there because I really think he's going to continue it. I made a video about it. I was talking about the continuation of it and that just being the first 4 episodes, but I would be surprised if there isn't a fifth episode, right? So there's a lot left to be desired in terms of what was put into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, again, because it's 50, I was expecting to see the Jimmy Henchman connection come into it with the Tupac story and whatnot, because
Mhm.
Jimmy Henchman and Diddy together were involved on that Tupac thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The you know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of weird. Like, okay, so is this just to get it popping? Or, you know what I'm saying, is this all we doing? I just thought it could have been more. But it wasn't bad. And certainly, I do think the call out is necessary, but I wish it wasn't dependent on celebrities doing the call out. I wish regular men could do that same call out and get the same respect. Because
Mhm.
unlike 50, I ain't never ran with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? So me calling that shit out is a lot different than 50
Mhm.
calling it out. But 50 will get the response for it because he is a celebrity. But
Mhm.
at one point, nigga, you was chilling next to the nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was your boy at one point, too. Like, so, you know what I mean?
Right.
It kind of just works against you when you actually stand for that and someone with a lot more clout, a lot bigger name can benefit from it and really don't have to mean any of it.
But both are necessary, because I need to hear from the motherfucker who was standing right next to him. I need to hear from him, and I need for him to stand on business and say this is some bullshit. Now, that's not to say 50 don't be on bullshit for sure, but I want every man to be able to stand up to this type of bad behavior. But I do most specifically want to see someone who has that clout, if you will, or access and money, and has had proximity to him to also stand up and say this was wrong, this was some bullshit, all of that. You know what I mean? I think it's necessary on both ends. And you made a good point. I do too believe more is coming. 50 has done he's practically said more is coming. He said that there's 140 hours of footage that he has access to that was not shared, and that there is more that he will share. He even suggested he might put it on YouTube. I got a feeling it'll probably come out in another documentary or something. But he says here, let me ask y'all this. The very first scene, and I asked Dennis about this because, Dennis, Native, myself, you guys, we're all YouTubers, right? We're out here doing this content and covering this type of stuff. And in that first scene, Diddy is telling people, telling his attorney that, you guys aren't doing this media thing right. That, we need some people who are the grimiest at this propaganda, this media propaganda game. And he specifically says that, most people are not watching CNN and all these other major networks for their news anymore. They're going to TikTok and YouTube and all these places. To me, that was him pretty much putting his strategy out there. For me, that was confirmation of everything I believed during the trial, that he is paying bloggers to come out here and speak on his behalf. What do you think about that? Both Taz and Nylah. What do you guys think?
So actually, that statement about people going to get the news from everywhere else is something that I've been saying since 2018. So that works in two ways. Now, Diddy saying that, of course, he can pay bloggers, he can influence people because he has the influence, he has the money, and all this kind of stuff. So, what I just wish that people would understand the larger overarching concept behind that. If Diddy is, even though he's a big fish to us in the grand scheme, when you think about all these corporate conglomerates, he's not.
Right.
Everybody is paying for influence. Everybody is paying for an agenda to be promoted. So everyone needs to have that understanding. So we used to have these conversations and understand that, sure, the news has a bias. The news is corporate owned. A lot of what we see is agenda based. We're not having the greater understanding where, because no one's watching the 10 o'clock news anymore, like Big Mama them did, we're watching everything on TikTok, YouTube, like he said. We're always being inundated with propaganda. We're always, having people paint agendas and narratives that we're taking in and that we're, basically believing. Uh-oh, what happened?
Lost you for a second.
You lost me?
You're back. You're back. You're back.
Where did I go?
For like a 5 seconds. I don't know. You went, wait. Native, did you see her? Did she disappear for you too? She
You disappeared.
for me.
You disappeared.
I disappeared. Oh,
you
okay.
left.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. For my screen, you left, Nylah. Me and Native were here. That's so
Baby,
weird. Okay, go.
I've been here. I ain't going nowhere, baby.
I'm sorry.
No, but no. So he's right. He's right. But so that wasn't a big thing that he said that to me, because it's something that I've understood social media to be. I mean, they've actually come out and said in 2021 that they were looking, they being these corporate conglomerates were looking for influencers to promote certain things, like the jab and all this kind of stuff. Like, they were looking for influencers, YouTubers. So everyone on here is not equal. There are some people that are just not homegrown. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Now, let me say this too. I want to be very fair about this. I'm not mad at somebody who is an influencer, if you will, someone who has a platform, and if they feel that they are in alignment with a celebrity or a product, or even if it is something like this, maybe someone really did feel that Diddy is not guilty, he's not getting a fair deal with this. I don't have a problem with them paying an influencer to come out and say something about it. I don't have a problem with that. When I think about Milagro and that whole situation, I understand that people feel the way they feel about Meg and Tory Lanez. You can feel that that he's guilty. You can feel that he's not guilty. I feel that if there are influencers that Meg wanted to pay to come out here and help, further her agenda, I wouldn't see anything wrong with that. If Tory wants to pay people and they want to accept, and so that he can get his side out, I don't see anything wrong with that. I guess that part I don't have a problem with. My thing is, stand on it. Say that's what it is, that's what it was, and I have a right to my opinion. I'm getting paid to share my opinion. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that when people want to pretend as if that's not what's going on, that's where I feel away. I'm just saying.
Well, Taz said it. They have to pretend. It's like they literally have to.
If we know that they're being paid to say this, it takes away from the authenticity. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you can just come out and say, yeah, I got paid to say that. It
But
removes the authenticity.
But it's almost to me like, okay, so if you have a PR team, your public relations person is paid to come out and say great things about you. And I see that these influencers are just an extension of a PR team.
But because V Lenore, that's not just entertainment that is doing that.
Oh, I
That's
agree.
that's our politics, that's our education system,
I agree.
that's all those things. That's the problem with any of that. The fact that you can't trust anybody because
Mm,
there is an agenda. And like even like having conversations like this. Part of my trouble and Taz's trouble as well on YouTube is because we were uncovering and talking about agendas. We were pulling up receipts. This is what we were talking about on Tasha's app just a few minutes ago. We were pulling out stuff that people did not know, exposing people that you love because they have what you just said, a good PR team,
mm,
right? You know
yeah,
what? I mean, as an example, who had a good PR team? Jesse Jackson had a good PR team. Bill Clinton had a good PR team. I mean, you name it. They've had Will Smith, them. Diddy had a good PR team,
sure.
until he got caught up. So just think about how dangerous it is that people will buy the narrative because someone else is saying, oh, yeah, that person is legit. Oh, yeah, that person is good. You know what I'm saying? It's like anybody with money. And who are the people with the money?
Right,
Typically the bad people.
right,
So
right.
the worst of people can afford to pay someone like you or me to speak in the opposite direction of what they really are, and that's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
dangerous, but it's not going to change
Mhm.
anything. I mean, I feel like it's not going to change their tactics. I feel
No,
like
it's not. They just get the tactics just get more covert, and it gets so convoluted that you can't even explain to
yeah,
a person that you might just be following the wrong thing. This might just be an agenda.
That hurts us.
Yeah, it hurts us. And this is why we've been having the conversation since 2018. We
Mm-hmm.
suffer because of that. That's why you can have now you notice how all of the celebrities are the podcasters. They're the
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
YouTubers. They're doing the news. We were able to have a unique situation going here where we could be independent media without any agendas, without any corporate backing, without someone pulling our strings. Now everybody's running. Oh, let's go see what Uncle Shannon is saying. Oh, let's go see what this person is saying. Those people are still being paid by mainstream media because those aren't their podcasts.
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's not
Point.
Well,
Gilbert
sure.
Arenas. That's not there. We are, yeah, there. We're being fed agendas, and so people like me and you will get stamped out by that because who is everybody going to run to?
Right.
The big and then even on YouTube, where do you think they're going to direct their ads to?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's like, no, I could never be okay with erasing a voice that is actually authentic. And that's what you're literally campaigning for if you say it's okay to have the, you know, for this stuff to go on. So no, I'm saying no, fuck that.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
Yeah, and I think the danger itself needs to be stated too, because people don't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? They hear they turn on their YouTuber and they say, "Oh, this YouTuber said Diddy didn't do it. These people are lying," or they're saying that, "Oh, Bill Cosby he was just being set up because he was about to buy NBC and all this other shit." And so
That's the perfect one.
they take
That's
us
the
as
perfect one. Can you
right.
ever you because you like I know you're being sarcastic. You cannot tell nobody that Bill Cosby was not about to buy NBC. You can't tell. You can't. I mean, there are so many things that people believe because it's been said enough, and
Right.
they understand
Right.
that. Like the people that control the media, or should I say, the machine that controls the media, they didn't just wake up 5 years ago and say, "Hey, we need to infiltrate YouTube."
Mm-hmm.
They didn't just, you know, this is strategy, this is planning,
Mhm.
this is them watching this bullshit. This is them putting bullshit out there and watching us float. You know, we float their narratives, some of us, without even knowing it. Like
Correct.
people, I have had people look. Some of my biggest trolls came from the Bill Cosby conversation. This man apologized to me on his fucking deathbed for
What?
lying and trolling on us. Yes, this man apologized to me on his fucking deathbed, and it was because of Bill fucking Cosby. Because I was trying to explain that NBC was never on the table for him. Like if you read the fucking article, it was never for sale, right? He wanted to buy it, but it wasn't for sale at that time. But you know, the common Negro argument is he was about to buy NBC and they trying to stop a black man and all that shit. That man lied to like made up all type of weird stories on us for years. He dead now. And he literally apologized to me and it was about Bill Cosby. People are serious about that shit. You know, and it was a lie. The Willie Lynch letter. Is that a real letter?
I thought it was
Not
for
real.
many years. For many,
No, but you
many
can't.
years. I thought it was. I talked about it all the time.
Nyla, do you know how many arguments I've had with quote unquote educated black people about the Willie Lynch letter? And it has snowed so many people over that it's just no, 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 no. It was really a come on, bro. I
And
mean,
think about the
it's gonna be
psychology behind that. Shouldn't
I
be in
thought it
our
was weird.
favor that it's fake, but
right,
people really want to believe that the white man is this smart, that he developed this system through this letter, through this thing, and you really want to like exposing to you that it is not real.
right,
Just by fact, you know, fact finding in the letter and stuff like that. And the man who put it out, he, you know, he owned up to it, you know, being fake eventually. But people want to believe. You cannot tell these niggas
But that's
hmm
not
that,
even
that
widespread. That's not even known, really. That it
it,
has been, disputed, or that he
yeah,
came out and said it.
no, because those voices like mine, voices like Taz, voices like Native who say he's doing nobody who wants to hear that.
Right.
Because Charlemagne said it was real.
Yeah.
yep,
Umar Johnson is talking about it.
yep,
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Nylah? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean,
yep,
think Bill Cosby talked about it. This person talked about all of these scholars. You know,
Mhm.
Farrakhan said it. So who are we? We can't
hmm
tell the truth because the agenda or the truth can be bought and sold.
right,
Mm.
right.
Now that's a
That's
that's a
true.
point right there.
That is true.
And then speaking of a lot of things that Black people have a problem with hearing people speak out about, as it relates to Bill Cosby in particular. When all that happened,
with these women coming out, black folks was like, well, I don't believe it. Think about all they, Bill has done, and why all these white women come out here. It's been 40 years, they lying and this, that, and the other. And my thought was, I don't give a damn what color those women are. If he did it to one woman, that's too many. If he
Girl.
drugged any woman of any race, or any ethnicity, and then SA that person, that is problematic, and he needs to be dealt with. I don't care if it was
That
50
one
years.
right there,
That
baby.
bothered me so much.
That one right there. First of all, when the widespread allegations were made public, okay, that man had allegations from way back when. And for
Absolutely.
everybody to be talking about he was super duper pro black. Now, this I learned from Taz, right? This dude, he was not ever pro black. Not like they're saying. Because while the Fight the Power movement was going on, when it was up, he was at the Playboy Mansion.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was running around with them.
Yeah.
That little documentary that everybody likes to talk about, that was a white man's documentary.
Mm-hmm.
He just hired Bill to be
Yep.
the face of it. Bill has not done shit for even Taz even had a debate about this. It was funny. Taz, you need to put that debate back up. The Cosby Show, the not the Cosby Show, the Fat Albert.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What beneficial really was that?
No,
Say it one more time.
Yeah, what's the character's name?
I want to see if that name.
Name the Fat Albert characters besides Fat Albert.
Native, we
There
do
was,
this all the time. You
there was Mushmouth.
Mushmouth.
Okay. There was Bill.
Russell.
There was Rudy. You had damn.
Wasn't Russell one of the characters? I know that's his brother's
Russell,
name.
you had Russell, you had Bill, you had Mushmouth, you had Weird Harold,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
You had so yeah, it was a bunch of misfits hanging out in the damn junkyard in Philadelphia with no supervision except for Bill Cosby lurking over there in the corner. Weird.
Right.
But what it was weird, Bucky,
Mushmouth.
Mushmouth, Fat. Like these are not necessarily. This is how we get into the roasting part of our. This is how we get into it being cool to call names and all of that, as opposed to recognize like a lot of them names came from that show.
Yeah.
It's another one I'm drawing a blank on. It's one more. Weird, Bucky, Fat.
I never liked that one.
There's another one. I can't think of it, but it's like 5 or 6 names that they were called. These are young black kids in the 70s during the Black Power movement. Why are we doing that?
Yep. And then now this is a very unpopular opinion.
Never thought about this.
This one is very unpopular. The actual Cosby Show, right?
Mhm.
It was great. It was nostalgic. It's nostalgic to us. I'm sorry now. But let's talk about that. At the height of Dumb was the other person was named Dumb.
Donald. Yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Cosby Show. Everybody lauds it as this great moment, for what was going, for black people or whatever. Let's really think about this. Cosby Show came out in the late 80s, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Late
Yeah.
80s. Late 80s. Yeah. Late 80s. Yeah.
86 or so 80s. Yeah.
Late 80s. Okay. A black doctor husband,
Yep.
black attorney wife.
Yep.
It
Mhm.
sounds great, right?
Yeah.
Where they were living would have been wherever they living, it was an affluent area.
Mhm.
Most of their friends were affluent and all this kind of stuff. And so they're like, bring that back, because that was good for black people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't disagree that the imagery is good for the self-esteem, right?
Mhm.
I guess because black people love TV and we do have TV heroes and all this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But realistically,
Mhm.
the percentage of people right now in America, not let alone that time, that
Mhm.
where there's a doctor and an attorney in a marriage
Mm-hmm.
with those kids, and not only is it a functional and a good marriage in an affluent area, everybody's, well balanced and all. That is not even realistic. Do you know how many percentage of American households have that dynamic? And I'm talking about white American households.
Well,
So,
well, go ahead, finish, and then I'll say
no,
what
no,
I.
no. So, but what did that do for our self-esteem for real? Because on the flip side, what was happening in Black America in 1987, 1988? What we were at the height of the crack epidemic,
Yep,
Mm.
correct.
right? So
Yep.
just I think it was like it was. I'm not saying that it was bad to have the imagery, but for them to do an unrealistic family dynamic while
Hmm.
we were having the worst family dynamics that we've ever had was almost like a cruel joke because number one, it's unrealistic. But number two, but then again, I think sometimes maybe it was good for the child that was growing up in the crack home or whatever to have something to look forward to as escape or whatever. But I also think that that's what's wrong with Black people. We use entertainment and TV for escapism at the
Hmm.
highest, to me, to our detriment. Like every everything is TV centered for us. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
No, I do get what you're saying, and and I hear exactly what you're saying. We've had a similar discussion about that over here. For me personally, I remember when the show came out, and I wasn't from an affluent family. I didn't live in an affluent area. I didn't live in the ghetto either. I went to Catholic school, kindergarten through 12th grade. And even though I went to Catholic school, I went to school with kids who had, working parents. Most of them were two parent households. And most of my friends, went to church, and what I will say is when I saw the Cosby Show, to me, I loved it because it was an opportunity to see us in a different light on television. I saw white families depicted in this way, whether it was realistic or not. We know white families are fucked up too. They're really fucked up. And so I've seen families on TV that didn't really align with what I knew to be the families of white folks I knew. But for myself, I love the Cosby Show because I actually did know doctors and lawyers that were married and had families. Were their families perfect? No, they weren't. But I still knew that a doctor and a lawyer could be married to one another. I knew them. They went to my churches. You know what I mean? They went. I was mentored by them because for whatever. So, and my parents didn't go to college, so they always put me in circles so that I would have exposure to things that they didn't have. So I believe that. The other thing, though, you say though that is true too, Nylah, that was at the height of the crack epidemic. But I'll be honest, I never personally have met a crackhead. I did.
Mm.
I definitely didn't know any or see it in my community. Not that they didn't exist in.
You didn't know it because that's why it was so bad. That's why it was an epidemic. You just didn't realize you were around crackheads, honey. Because the reason why the crack epidemic was so bad and distraught and I mean sorry, disastrous for us is because
I
it
know
didn't
it
take
existed.
away.
Be
No,
wrong.
I'm just saying it didn't take away. Crack did not wipe out the bums. It didn't wipe out the undesirables, if you will, the derelicts, okay? It created them. Okay? It took away the bus drivers, the teachers, the doctors, the lawyers, the attorneys. Those were the people that we lost during the crack epidemic.
Yep.
So, you probably moved on. You
And
probably
I
don't
lived
even
in a black
realize.
community, working class black folks. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't. So they weren't rich. Nobody was rich. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I did not see. And I guess here's the other thing. This is just my ignorance, and I'll own it. I own it because there's things I'm going to be ignorant about. Right? I will own that. What I pictured a crackhead to look like might not always show up that way. And maybe
Mm.
you're right. Maybe they were on crack and I had no clue about it because it wasn't until later in life I met a friend and she told me that she and her friends used to get together and do crack. And I was just like, what? You did crack? You know, like that was like so hard for me to wrap my mind around because I thought you're supposed to look a certain way. I thought you were gonna weigh a certain amount. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't like some anorexic looking lady.
Yeah, what made the crackheads what made it bad? This is bad because I even say that we need to move away from calling them crackheads, to be perfectly honest. And having that understanding is because watching what is happening with like the fentanyl shit and all this stuff, there
Yeah.
are people marching on Washington for them. They are not called any type of head. They are
That's true.
people that they are people that have substance abuse issues. I did a
Right.
video back in 2018 where they had a Sesame Street episode where they were teaching the little kids how to deal with their moms and dads when they have to go to rehab. You see, we made jokes, we dragged them, we kicked them out. We said they can't come over for dinner. You know that motherfucker steals, so don't let them go in the house. So they didn't have any support. That's why our crackheads were out here looking fucked up. These fentanyl abusers, they don't get like that. Or what is the other drug that they're doing, babe? Meth and all this kind of stuff. They don't get really fucked up until they leave home or people remove support. But if you were around like a crackhead who had a family who was going to cover for them, you would have never knew. You would have never knew because they going to eat every day. They had a place to live. You know what I'm saying? But a lot
Yeah.
of this, I blame us for how crackheads are. Look at Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. Whitney's wonderful, beautiful legacy, all that she did, and we were the ones that dragged her. We are the ones that make the jokes about her. We are the ones, and here's the thing. And I know we joke about it, call Sonia a clucker or whatever. But in the grand scheme, when we're talking about people who have substance abuse problems, in order to get off crack, you got to go to a treatment facility. You got to be treated. That's an illness.
Right.
That's like
Absolutely.
that's a person with a problem.
Absolutely.
And what do? Yo mama smoke crack. We that's what we did that's what we did to our own communities.
True.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah.
that's true.
I think, but to your point, now, I think not only was the dynamic of the Cosby Show a problem for me, a doctor and lawyer married, but it was also the situations, right? Those kids never did anything wrong. And I mean, when I tell you they deflected all that shit to all the other kids around them, you remember the episode where Theo had a joint in his book, but it wasn't Theo's joint, it was his friend's joint. It was always somebody else was pregnant. It was
I never
always,
thought about that.
yeah, nothing
While
ever
the crack
happened to
trial was going on, Felicia Rashad was on crack during some of the years of the Cosby Show. That's another reason why I had a problem with it. Like
Wait, what? In real
Felicia,
life?
in real life, Felicia had a bout with crack herself. And if you go back and watch, I've got to think of the years, but you'll be able to see, you'll be able to tell the years that she was on crack. I'm not saying that to shade or take away from her legacy, but they were presenting an unrealistic image, right?
Mhm.
While Bill is at the height of cheating and drugging women. That's what he was doing part-time, fucking
Sure
with
enough.
Lisa
While on the
Bonet
show, while
while
on
on the
the show
show.
with actresses that were coming on the show to work.
Right.
Yes.
He's doing drugs. He's out here messing with these women and doing all this bullshit. All of
Mhm.
this stuff is going on. Felicia, going through what she's going through. And just imagine being a regular Black person. I'm doing everything right. I'm doing this, but the Cosby Show is what we aspire to be. When
Mhm. Yeah.
nobody, you see what I'm saying? Like it's almost cruel.
But
Yeah.
but in all fairness though, TV is like that. Like we watch all these white shows and look, what
But the
were
white shows are more realistic, V. If you think about it, the white shows, they
are
kids
they?
use
Because they
drugs, they be getting drunk. Think about it. The episode, the white kids, they be getting high,
They go
yeah,
to jail.
yeah.
stealing, they go to jail. They do,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? They will have like the upper middle. Like think about like Beverly Hills 90210.
Uh-huh.
Them they did the most. There was Yeah, they be getting pregnant, all this kind of stuff. But like it's either with with the black shit, we either got to be all the way bad
Mm.
or we got to be angelic.
Mm.
I don't know that we have realistic.
Be like Medea, shut up.
Oh,
What do you say, Medea?
you gotta be like Medea. Shout out to Messy Mikael.
That's true. That's I guess so. I guess so. No, I guess what I was gonna say though is that the show, okay, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, there's room for some of the white characters on shows to have these flaws and have these downfalls and whatever. But sometimes too, I mean, I think that we take for granted that these people, these actors who play the parts of these characters are living the life like those characters when many of them are on drugs. I mean, they're high going to work every day. They're
Nope.
high.
And black people have a weird relationship with celebrities and people on TV. I know other people have
Yep.
celebrity worship, but I just feel like we are different with that. Like people literally say, "That was my father figure, Bill." Like people aspire. They use Claire Huxtable as an archetype for the perfect black woman. Like you
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Like it's just we have weird standards and fixations on celebrities that is just it's weird to me.
I think
It's
it's
very
because
weird.
we didn't have a whole lot of representation, and so when we see something, we hold on to it.
Yeah.
We make it ours. Like we act like we knew these people because they came on every week and they were in our households. From 8 to 8:30 on Thursday nights. So I mean, I think that's where it goes for us. Whereas we have we haven't always had the same access to success, to jobs, to housing, schools, all of the same things that white people can pick and choose whether or not they want. We were told what we could have, so that when we see certain things and we see things on TV, we see beautiful black people on television, and that we may not even see in our real life, then that's why we hold on to those things. I'm just speaking from the little girl in me. I was talking the other day about just things that I saw in my household as a kid that really gave me high anxiety. And it wasn't that, I didn't have parents that were on drugs, but it was just the way in which they related to one another. It gave me a lot of anxiety. I was an only child. And when I heard all that, I needed something to help me escape. So I used music and I used TV because I could go into another world in my mind. And then there were things that I wanted to achieve that my parents hadn't achieved, and they couldn't really tell me much about it. So the only way I could connect with it for many years, up until I was a certain age, was through a television or through a
Mhm.
movie or through a book. You know what I'm saying? So I get it on that level, because I just think that we just had fewer examples and opportunities. So when one showed up, especially I think our generation and before, they had even less. So when
No,
they're
I agree with you. We need the imagery. We need it. We need it, but we also need
we
to
we need reality
um we
too.
need reality as well. We need to stop looking to celebrities as examples. I'm
I-
a strong proponent. I have always told like family members and people that I know, if you live in the hood, that is no problem.
Absolutely.
Take your kids on Sunday afternoon to the burbs. Take
Absolutely.
them downtown. Take them somewhere because sh- you cannot mentally get away if you don't know that there's some place to go. If you
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
know. So yes, you absolutely we need that, right? But
Yes.
even in thinking about because I'm stuck in that time, right? Not stuck literally, but if we're talking about the era of the Cosby show,
Hmm.
we're actively having redlining issues going on. Actively,
Absolutely.
black people were being discriminated credit wise.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Getting into the schools, affirmative action was still working better for white women than it was for black people. So even those people that were on that trajectory
Hmm.
to get there, a lot of times were stopped in their tracks. And then it created this hierarchy socially of the black people that did make it. Well, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm here. I did it. It's a complete we could unpack this you know, for hours. But like, you know,
Yeah.
it's a lot, you know.
It
It's a
is.
lot.
Well, I'm not gonna hold y'all anymore. I'm really happy you came over, Nylah. This is your first time over here.
It is.
I'm
It
so
is.
happy you're here. Y'all,
Thank
Nylah came over here to the Vila North show. You know, yes. Who is it? Nylah says, yay!
you.
Yes! Look, I love that because that's Ecamm you said that does that. I think that is
No,
so
this is actually just from having an Apple computer. So if you have a MacBook or something like that, you can do that. Like, yeah, let me show you. You can do a lot of stuff.
do.
I forget all of the
What the hell?
different let me see, all of the different
This is
reactions that
yeah.
it'll do. But like
Hold
you
on.
can do the thumbs up.
What?
You see it? Did it come on the screen?
No.
It didn't. So I think if I have to do like this,
Native, why are you
there it is. Yeah, there it goes.
what?
I can
Oh,
do like this.
bubble. How
And
you
then I
doing
don't
this?
know. It's something, I think it's this that does something, or is it this? I
Native,
gotta remember all the hand movements or whatever, but it's like certain hand movements where you can make like balloons, you can make different stuff happen.
I want to know how to do it.
Yeah. You got a Mac?
Yes.
Okay. So in the top right hand corner,
Hmm.
is there a green icon
A
with a
green.
camera? Looks
Yeah.
like your FaceTime icon. Okay.
Yeah.
Right click on that icon. And
Yes.
you might see two options. You might see your streaming software, FaceTime, or you might see Google Chrome.
Hold on.
Okay.
If I don't want to embarrass, I don't embarrass my son. Hold on. I was about to ask him to show me, but I was never mind. He can't hear me. Wait a minute. I just hit it, but it's not. I'm right clicking.
Okay, right click, and then you should get like a menu option for your
Oh wait.
camera.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see it. Oh, reactions.
Mm-hmm. So click on the react. You see the heart. So now I think if you have to like select it, enable it, and so when you there you go. See, there your
Oh,
heart.
it did it.
Um, and it's something like you can. There's a storm. If you click on, there's a storm.
What?
Balloons.
Oh my god. Oh wow. What did I just hit? Oh my god.
Yeah. But you can do all of this stuff with
Jesus.
your hand movements. You just have to remember which ones to do it with.
Oh,
You can hit
oh,
the
oh,
thumbs
oh,
up
oh.
manually, thumbs down.
What the hell is that one? Gloom and doom? What the
Like that's like a storm.
hell? Oh.
Look at
Native,
native
shut up. What is hell's wrong with you, Native? Native.
I just
Betty.
love it. I love it when you discover shit. It's just the best thing ever when you discover shit. Like, you know, it's the best. I love it. I just love it.
Forget it. I get excited when I learn something new. You better be glad I can't find my Are You Okay video. Because I can't get oh my god. Oh, that is so cool. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, it's a Mac thing. I think you can do it because yeah, you can do it like over FaceTime too, I think. But yeah, I've been like all these years I've been doing it. You ain't never paid no
Are
attention.
you okay?
Huh? No. Yeah, I
Are
see
you okay?
I've seen it before, but I didn't know. Actually, let me undo my thing. I had to pull it up to get this one here. I've seen you do it, but I thought it was Ecamm that was having you do it.
No, that I can do that.
That is so cute. I
Yeah,
want. They need to get a kiss so I can give kisses. I love
I
it.
know, right?
Well, thank you so much, you guys, for coming over. We'll have to have more conversations like this because I think that it's important. I think that there are a lot of things that we're talking about. Some people may not have even heard before. And it's not that y'all haven't been saying it, you know, sometimes it's unfortunate. The things that we need to hear are not always the things that we are seeking to listen to.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, unfortunately people come out here and they are here for the bullshit when you know, and when we are out here talking about stuff that's not bullshit, then you know they go another direction. So
Yeah, 'cause, like, really, it used to be for my platform when they got the bullshit was when we were dragging.
mhm.
Most of my content was serious, but I mean, we would drag, and then like the panels we would, it would get a little comical, but most of my content was serious.
I know. I
Yep.
know. I do remember that. So, okay, well, thank you, Nylah. Thank you, Taz, for coming through. Native, before we leave, the people in the chat saying, could you read a letter? Could you read a Nesto letter to Nylah before she goes? They always want Native to do all of the examples and impersonations that earned him the low ignorant title. So, Native,
Lord.
read one of
Dear now, dear grown woman sister, I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna get a lawsuit lawyer. I'm gonna sue everybody on internet. Now, my lawyer said that I'm innocent. I ain't do nothing. And he convinced me that I was innocent in break room on the pewter. He showed me on the break room in the pewter that I was innocent and that I'm not gonna plead to nothing I didn't do. I'm an innocent man. I need to get out and take care of my son Dion. Dion is my son, and he needs me better. I need to get out there and show the world that I am a good father. I'm an innocent man, and and and
Amen.
and, and I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna get a lawsuit lawyer, and I'm gonna sue you. Come on, my current lawyer right now, he a tight suit lawyer. He ain't a lawsuit lawyer. He a tight suit lawyer. He gonna sue you. He gonna sue Villanor. He gonna sue all y'all when he get a lawsuit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Be blessed.
Yeah, I ain't got it though.
Be
I ain't
blessed.
got it. I ain't got it, baby.
you.
Be blessed.
I ain't got it. Nope, I don't have it.
Oh, and by the way, Nyla, this is where I send people when they do things like Native just did. So you send your people to the wall. We dedicate the bell tower to Nyla and Grown Woman Vibes because she taught us that when motherfuckers act a fool, they gotta go. They gotta
You
go
gotta
somewhere.
put them on punishment. I believe in punishment.
Yeah. and Native is
2155.
no punishment.
2155. Feel like I'm burned up in hell. I feel like I'm burned up in hell. 2155. 215 20 21 55. 2155. Feel like I'm burning
You
up in
remember
hell.
that call, Nyla?
I know that's the Bent Creek
She's
numeric
he's
part.
she said, what's the address again? At 20, because he didn't want to tell her. At 20 21 55. That's a lot of numbers. Are you saying 2155? 2155. Feel like I'm burning up in hell.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to
Thank
everyone in the
you.
chat. All
I
of the yes, we love you. Thank you so much, everybody, and everybody in the chat, the moderators for holding things down. Native, thank you for riding out with me from the beginning to the end. And yeah, we're gonna do more of these talks, and I hope to do them real soon. All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bushes.